What's up, everybody? What's happening, everybody? Happy Saturday. I did it again. Another cup of my Joe or Joanne, whatever you want to call it. Iced coffee this time. And once again, heavy-handed with the freaking creamer, man. I got to chill. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. Yeah, that's good. It's still good, but it's just not what I want. All right. Anyway, once again, hopefully everybody's doing all right. Let me check. Let me see what it's looking like today. Okay, on the East Coast, the New York area, it's going to be 86 degrees. Looks like it's sunny. Maybe raining later tonight. So for the most part of the day, everybody should have a good day. You know, you hear, you get some Knick talk, then you go out and, do something fun, for the rest of the day and enjoy yourself, man. Yeah. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive, to be able to talk another day about these here Knicks. Yeah. So this is, I know this show is going to be interesting because it's going to be taken the wrong way. It is what it is. The point of a person trying to give content is to be able to talk about different things. Sometimes it's going to be, fun stuff that we can all agree on. And sometimes it's going to be stuff that may be a little different. Maybe we won't agree. Yeah. Oh, and let me change this. My bad. I left this up from the last time around. Get this up out of here. Get back to my usually scheduled stuff here. There we go. Yeah, all I'm saying is, guys, just take it all with a grain of salt, okay? This is a conversation to be had. And I'm going to introduce some scenarios to you. This is how it's going to play out. I got a couple different scenarios, 3 to be exact. I'm going to introduce those scenarios to everybody. We'll talk about them a little bit, right? And then I guess I'll try to give you guys a side-by-side of all 3 scenarios together. I'm going to put up a poll. Obviously, as you go through, I mean, you guys will be in the chat. You can comment however you want to comment and give your takes and opinions about stuff. But then I'm going to put them all side by side. And I'm going to put up a poll, right? And then what I want you guys to do, if you don't mind, is to click on which is the option that you think works best for the Knicks going forward. And I'm not going to give my opinion about the scenario or the option that I think I like the best. I'll wait till the poll is out, until people have a chance to vote and all that, and then I will mention which one of the scenarios that I like, and then we go from there. And like I said, this is all for the sake of conversation, for us to look at the team. What's the best word? Objectively. There you go. Objectively. Look at it for what it is and figure out what's the best way to build. And another thing, I'm going to say different things going along to give you guys like little caveats as to what's happening, but it's specific to this time period, like what I would think the Knicks team would look at a certain point in this season. Remember, after this season, the Knicks can do anything. They could change things around. They can go a different direction, whatever. But I'm just saying, figuring out a way that the Knicks can round out the roster, make some acquisitions or not this season at some point. It could be, anytime between now and the trade deadline. But it could all happen at some point this season. I just want to throw that out there again. The other thing I wanted to say is, listen, I've been watching, not only our show, but some of the other shows lately. And I know it's a tough time right now for Knicks fans. We're all a little stressed out. We want to see basketball. That's one. 2, this whole Donovan Mitchell thing has been dragged out forever. People are getting frustrated. They're just tired of talking about it. It's sometimes it's one of those things where, okay, you try to go get a guy, you want him, you don't get him, you pissed off about that, but you move on. You know what I mean? This whole thing of him dangling out there for all this time and not knowing what's going to happen has gotten people a little stressed out. And people are like, listen, we just want something to happen already. Whether we get him or we don't get him, we just want this to be over. And I get it. I understand. We're definitely at that point. So just once again, you know, bear with me. I'm just here trying to give y'all some content, something to talk about. But the other reason why I wanted to bring that up is, like I said, I've been watching shows, I've been watching the chat and then seeing our chat, and people have been going back and forth. Nothing wrong with that, man. Just, you can have a spirited conversation, keep going back and forth, getting your opinions out there, because there's people that don't agree. That's fine. Just be respectful about it. That's all I ask. Be respectful. And I ask that whoever's a moderator that rocks with still Knicks fans, you know, just please be mindful of that. I want you guys to let other people get their opinions off and let them, you know, let their voices be heard. But obviously, if somebody comes out disrespectful, talking crazy, dropping F-bombs and all types of stuff, calling people out their names, if it gets too, you know, that's a different story. You can, you know, feel free to do your moderated thing. But I just don't want people to get, you know, be quick with the trigger. I want people to be able to talk and get their opinions out. And there's no reason to block somebody for having a difference of opinion or anything like that. Just if it's just about an opinion and it's respectful. When it gets disrespectful, that's another subject. Anyway, all right, that's my PSA for the day. I've said enough. I want to get into everything. So let me do this. Let me put the invite out there. Okay. All right. And you know what? Why don't we just go right into the intro, and then we'll come back and really chop it up and get into everything. Sounds like a plan? Yeah, I think so. All right. And we are back. Let's get it going. Let me give my shout outs. Salute to you guys. Thank you for rocking as always on another, you know, great Saturday morning. Walter Blackman Jr. is in the building. Let's do this. Let's do it like this. Walter Blackman Jr. is in the building. Salute to you. JJ is here. What's going on? Happy Saturday. Salute to our New York Mets. They're back on it, man. They back on it. And I mean, I know they beating up on bad teams, but that's what you do. A good team, you got to beat up on the bad teams. It is what it is. Jay Cruz in the building. Salute. David L is here. What's going on? Big task at hand in the building. What's good? Dwayne Dennis is here. Salute, brother. D World of Hoops is in the building. What's going on, D? Let's see. Savage NYC is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Enzo is here. What's up? Frank Matos, used to call him Sasso, is in the building. Almighty Finesse. What's good, boss? What's good? Be civilized. Salute to you, brother. Yeah, that's the mantra for today's show in the chat. You can't be nothing else. At least be civilized. Appreciate you. Cash out James, gold all in my mouth. Hey, all right. You know how it is, man. You know how I give it up for you, bro. Good to see you, Cash out. Keith Turner, what's good? Salute, salute, salute. Louisiana Knicks is in the building. What's up? What's up? Let's see. Salute to Hard Will in the building and Worldwide L. Y'all time that y'all comments is right back to back. Oh man, salute, salute, salute. Both of y'all brothers, man. You know, once again, as I always like to say, man, definitely go check out Hard Will and Worldwide L's content. The show is called For the Love of the Game. That's right. For OUR, Love of the Game. Check them out, man. Good content. I caught last night's show. I thought that was a good one. You guys was spirited, going back and forth with the Pope. I thought that was kind of dope because I see what the Pope was trying to do. He was trying to get it off, but I don't know, man. Let's see. A couple more people. Say shout out to. Did I miss anybody? Bricks Nation. Salute. What's good? What's good? All right. All right. So I got you guys off to start. Show you a little love. Let's see. I'm gonna bring my guy D in. All right, D. I'm about to bring you in. I always catch him off guard, so I said, you know what? Let me lead him in.
Hey, that was a good idea, bro. Because I was literally looking the other direction, doing something, fumbling through some papers and stuff like that. Good job, bro.
Hey, man. You know, sometimes. Shout out to Julian Blum. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you as always. Yeah, man. So and salute to Money Grip. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, Money Grip, but if you have been here, thank you for being back. If you haven't, it's good to see you, man. Thank you for rocking with us. Appreciate you. D Ras in the building.
What's up, D Ras?
What's up? What's up? All right. Oh, so let me do this real quick. Shout out to CT. Streets is buzzing. I saw he got on extra early today, which, I mean, you know, as a content creator, I understand what it is to move your schedule around and do things at different times. I don't know what time it is for CT, but I'll let you guys know it's not. I think his show went on at some time. I don't know, 9 or whatever. In the morning, he had Bill Daughtry on. But let me tell you, for CT's time in Australia, it's not that time. So salute to him for making that effort to do that. And also shout out to him for bringing Bill Daughtry on, because let me tell you, everybody, you know, you remember Bill Daughtry from his time at MSG, which was a long time. I mean, he was basically doing the Alan Hahn, Wally Zerbiak thing before these guys were doing it. But also, I remember him from growing up listening to WFAN, man, the fan, listening to Bill Daughtry at night. So yeah, man, he's a staple, a legend, and it was dope to hear him talk about the Knicks once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to CT, man.
Word, that was very nice. And Chivalry's not dead.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. So how you doing, boss? How you been?
I'm all gravy, bro. It's been a great week. Just ready to get into. I saw your topics and stuff. We had some inner talkings about it as well. So very excited.
Yeah. All right. So once again, guys, if you're just joining, today's show is going to be about 3 different scenarios that are put together for the Knicks to build their roster. At some point this year, this is how I think the Knick roster could shake out at some point, maybe between now and the trade deadline. Now, this is just for this year. This is just a starting point. And I just want you guys to kind of look at the scenarios. Then I'm going to ask you to vote on the scenarios. And, you know, it's just good for conversation. Plus, we got to be realistic, too. Like, it's one thing to get a player in here to help the team, but then you got to figure out how is it all going to work in the end? How can you build from this? So that's the premise of the show. Hopefully, y'all understand that and rock. I'm not telling you how to feel or which way we should go. I give you my opinion at the end, but I'm just putting it out there so you guys can think about it. All right? Okay.
Nice disclaimer there. That was good.
I need one. because I might have some people coming from my head shooting bows and arrows. I don't need that. I don't need it. I don't need it because this is informative. Yeah. Let me just get my stuff up here. Yeah. All right, there we go. And bear with me, guys, because I hope you guys can see what I do have for you. Hope it's not too small and it comes out okay. As you know, when you're working on this stuff, sometimes that's the thing that doesn't play in. Like, can everybody see what you're trying to show them? A couple more. Sorry. And then I got one more. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's see how this looks. Bam. Okay. All right, guys. So we'll get into the first scenario, and let me see. Is there anything that happened before we get into it that I just wanted to touch on? Oh, yeah, just in case. I mean, I know people have already been talking about it, but I know people get busy sometimes, so maybe you might have missed it. And shout out to Judah, my rightness in the building. Shalom, appreciate you. Thank you for being here. 914's finest, brother. Good to see you, man. Always. Dope to see you. Appreciate you, man. Sam.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Happy to be alive. Can't complain.
There you go. There you go. You got a chill Saturday today, or it's another busy one?
Hey, thankfully we have a chill Saturday. I'm not gonna lie, this week was hectic, bro. But this weekend I'm gonna get some rest and recovery.
Sounds good. You sound like you're 47 years old, bro.
Hey, they're making me feel like I'm 40 something.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. Well, good to have you as always. Appreciate you rocking with us. Parrish Douglas, salute. Always good to see you, brother. And shout out to my guy Walter Blackman Jr. That's great news, man. Congratulations on being able to move into a new house. That's great, man. Salute to you, brother.
Yeah, that's major.
Big congratulations.
Yeah.
Enjoy it with love and peace.
There you go. Just for informative, a little, more information to just drop out there. If you guys haven't already seen it, definitely check out Alan Hahn did a 10-minute Twitter video. I don't know if it's Twitter/TikTok video talking about the current state of the Donovan Mitchell negotiation and how he feels things are playing out and the leverage and how it's being used to affect what's going on, whether or not you should believe it or not. So definitely check that out. That was a good watch by Alan. And also the other news that we heard of is that the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were mentioned as being a suitor for Donovan Mitchell, have pulled out of that of those talks and don't want to be used as leverage. So I kind of respect and really appreciate Cleveland for doing that, because other teams may not even take the time to do that. They just throw their name out there. Yeah, we're interested, and then never speak on it or do anything with it. And it's just used as a pawn throughout the process. Cleveland said, nope, we looked at it. It's not going to work for us right now. Just take us out of it, which I respect. I think that's pretty cool. And the other thing is, you also saw that it came out recently that now, it's the same two teams, but then they added another one. Miami and the Knicks obviously are destinations for Donovan Mitchell. And then now Brooklyn's name has been thrown into the mix. Now, whether or not I think that Brooklyn is a real suitor, I don't personally know. In a different world, you can move Ben Simmons and this is a done deal. We're not even talking. And the Knicks are like, oh, no, not again. But this is Ben Simmons coming off of a back injury, having to deal with some mental stuff that he's still working through, and not knowing what he's really going to look like there, out on the court. So I don't think that's an easy move, and so I'm not really worried about Brooklyn's stake in all of this. So as Knicks fans, I don't think you guys should really think too much. If it happens, it's just something crazy that happened, and it would be a total contradiction of what Danny Ainge said he was looking for, if you ask me. So yeah, I just want to put that out there, man.
Well, before you go further, I mean, they could do something because they have 2023 of their own. They have and then 2000. No, man, they ain't got none. They can't do jack.
No, they don't have anything, and they've got like 4 or 5 picks. I definitely think it's 4. It might be 4 that are contingent on how they play basketball the next year or so that they've already given up, which could turn into something crazy for another team, and this another team could look out and the different moves that they've done to get who they got now. So we'll see.
But Ron, the one point on that I like to make real quick on the Nets thing, and this is why I'm shooting that down. I'm pretty sure everybody is aware of like the CBA rule, so Mitchell can't even play with Ben Simmons on that team because they're both on the rookie supermax.
Yep.
So it's like Brooklyn actually needs to do a lot more if they're going to really get him. Ben Simmons can't be there.
That is a very good point. That's right. If they were to get Mitchell, Ben Simmons has to be up out of there. There's no doubt about it. And salute to Kareem Grant. What up, twin? Good to see you, brother. All right. Okay, guys. So that's kind of, it just giving you some status updates if you've been real busy and don't know what's been going on the past day or so. All right, let's get into it.
So,
okay. So this is New York roster number 1. Okay, guys. And once again, let me say a couple things. First off, this took me a long time to do. You say, well, man, it just looks like a regular roster. You put some names up there. Doesn't look like too much work into putting the graphic together. No, it's not. That part is easy. Like, this is 2 seconds. That part is nothing. The part that took me a minute is it's not this scenario really. It's the other ones. And thinking, how can this work? Now, I didn't go all out, but I went a little deeper than I wanted to because of the fact that I was trying to make it make sense to an extent. And I'll get into it a little bit more because there's something I left out that I realized as I woke up this morning. But I tried to make, when you see the other rosters, I'm going to put I'm going to tell you how I got there. So I actually put like a trade scenario of how the player wound up on the Knicks. And that took some time for me to figure out who could they get, how could the money work. So I tried to do that. But I will get into it. Like I said, there's something I left out, which I will speak on. But in the end, you'll see why I left it out. But I should have just added it just to be as clear as possible. So once again, don't kill me. These are all just scenarios I just thought up. But if I could think them up, the Knicks can think them up or come up with something similar. So keep that in mind. And let's see here. I'm going to star this, Parrish, but I want to mention it. Shout out to Parrish Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, question, does Donovan dilute what Brunson brings to us? Okay, so I'm going to hold this until we get into scenario 2. Just throwing that out there.
All right. Wow, I didn't even see. You didn't have no Mitchell on this.
Yeah, there's no Donovan Mitchell on this package. So this is Jalen Brunson as the point guard because we know we already have him. He's on the team. Shout out to Sherwin M. Appreciate you, man. Or Sherwin. I know you dropped the M. You're like the artist formerly known as Sherwin M. So we got Jalen Brunson at the point guard, Evan Fournier at the shooting guard, RJ Barrett at the 3, Julius at the 4, Mitchell at the 5. That's your starting 5. Derrick Rose off the bench. I don't know if he'd be the 6th man or not, but whatever, he's there. Quentin Grimes. You got Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein, Emmanuel Quickly. This is not in the order that they're going to play. I'm just telling you this is what the team looks like. Jericho Sims, Farron Hunt. I'd put Chris Chioza in there just to fill out the roster. He was with Golden State, and he didn't play much, and he probably wouldn't play much here either. But the point is, I will tell you one thing. I do like his game. I thought he was kind of like, oh, Chris Chiozza, okay, seems okay. But then I looked at the highlights of him with the Nets. I looked at the highlights of him with Golden State when he did play. This guy's got game. He may not be great on the defensive end, but offensively, this dude's a spark plug, man. He got some game. He could shoot. He could break you down. He'd take you to the rack. It's just interesting. Just someone to throw in there, especially if you decide to say you have Miles McBride here and you decide to move him or move Emmanuel quickly or something later, and you don't have a backup point guard to spell Jalen Brunson and Derrick Rose. Chiozza is an option. So Chiozza is there, and then Miles McBride to round out the 15-man roster. Yeah. So this is New York Knicks roster number 1, and this is be the kind of like if we did nothing, this is what the roster would be today.
Do you see how Ron slipped that in there? He wanted to submit his testimony for Chris Chiozza being on the Knicks roster.
I peeped that. And he even orchestrated a trade with McBride is gone.
Put on his cards.
Right.
I'm just saying, anything could happen. But if y'all haven't checked out Chiozza's game, go check him out, man. I was surprised myself, and I remember when he was with the Nets, but I didn't pay attention to him. But looking at his game, and then I would tell you, for those who love Miles McBride, he doesn't play the defense that Miles McBride plays, not even close. But if you look at the offensive game, Chiozza runs circles around McBride. Just saying, putting that out there. Salute to Keyshawn. Peace. He says, peace, guys. Appreciate you, man. Good, so what do you guys? I don't want to just move on, because I don't want to convolute the conversation. So what do you guys think about this current roster as constructed? Do you feel comfortable going to war with this? What do you think, Sam?
Well, if you're basing it off of unit-wise, you know what my thoughts are of that Brunson-Fournier backcourt. Not really a fan. So if we can rearrange a couple of things, I wouldn't really have a problem with it. I just don't. Like some of these guys, I guess, like you're saying, they're going to be actually on the roster, but I don't see them getting out of the warm-ups like a McBride. Hunt probably won't get out the warm-ups. You got Chiozza. So, but I just think that Fournier does not need to be starting with Brunson. I just can't bear to watch the defense with that. If there's another way that we could rearrange the lineup, please do.
Okay.
That's well said.
Yeah, D, what do you think?
And this is rocked out throughout the whole year?
Yeah, for the most part. Mm-hmm.
This is a
now anything could change, like as far as with Thibodeau's rotation, anything can change where right now Fournier, because what Thibodeau likes to do, he likes to go with his knowns first, right? And then let the season play out. And then if something's not right, then he'll make a change. But he also wants to go with his constants. So this could be Fournier starting out the gate and then Thibodeau eventually benching him and going in a different direction. But yes, this is the team for the whole season.
This is a 27 to possibly 31, 32 win team. Best case scenario.
We're heading to the lottery.
Man, you think this team is worse than last year's?
Lottery bound.
It's not about worse than last year's. It's an upgraded roster because guys are coming back, guys have gotten better. You picked up Jalen Brunson, it's upgraded. But when you just compare it, like the ratio as to what the East or the NBA for that matter looked like last year compared to this year, I'm basing it on that, not whether it was downgraded or upgraded the roster.
If he starts, I'm telling you, if he starts Evan Fournier with Jalen Brunson, the way that I think he might do with the amount of minutes, then that's where it becomes an issue. So that's where I don't see it being too good for us. I see it being, like D said, probably 30-something wins, low 30s max. That's even with the resurrected Julius Randle. Just because the defense is going to be so bad, we're not going to be able to outscore anybody.
Okay.
And there's defensive issues all over this roster except for the bench.
What up, Danny? Salute, brother.
Danny.
Yo.
Danny, you look like you ready to go bench or something, man.
I'm going to go bench Tibbs.
Oh, man. Good luck.
20 reps. his 300-pound body.
Good luck, Danny.
First off, I know exactly where you're going with that. That's funny. And pause. But what do you think, Danny? I know you're just coming in. I guess maybe you had a chance to take a look at this. What do you think about this roster for the Knicks? I mean, basically, we're not making any more moves. You know, you might have to pick up a couple people to fill out the roster. And as you can see, I added Farron Hunt to the roster. He might go to the G League, but I just threw him in because I don't want to go searching for someone right now. And a couple names that I saw that were on the free agent list are not there now. So I don't know if they got picked up somewhere or they just didn't put it on the list. So I just added one person new, Chris Chioza. What do you think about this roster going forward for the remainder of this upcoming season? And keep in mind, to D's point, which I understand, this may not be how they play at the starting lineup. Evans in there, but who knows? Quentin Grimes definitely may take that spot throughout the season. I think he should take the spot because I think he's going to play well enough that he would in this scenario. What do you think about it?
Can I say maybe we might add Melo to that roster?
That is a possibility. And then I didn't want to do it yet because of the fact that I wanted to give Farron Hunt a chance to make the team just in case the Knicks don't have money like that. And Farron Hunt is already kind of with the club in some capacity. But I would, if that's the case, then Farron Hunt, I think, could replace, Carmelo would replace Farron Hunt.
I'm worried about Cam Reddish.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
If you bring in a Melo.
Hey, listen,
You know, I'm telling you, Tibbs is going to have those 2010 flashbacks of Melo, and that's all he's going to see.
Yeah.
And you're never going to see Cam Reddish once again.
He's going to have amnesia.
Yeah. He's going to think that we're still in 2010 All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. I think you guys are 100% right when you say that. And shout out to Geraldine McIver, the first lady of Still Knick fans. What's going on? Appreciate you. Delano Steele Jr. in the building. DSJ is here, folks. That's right, here. Salute to Pudge Nice. Appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in and rocking with us as always. So yeah, Danny, that's the case, man.
I say 40 wins at the most. Is that like a reach? 40?
That's a reach.
Yeah.
What do
you think? 40?
It's everything would have to kind of play out in a great fashion.
Ron got this at 43 wins, by the way.
I was about to say, like,
you actually had a lower expectation.
I think if you're talking 40 wins, Tibbs has got to have to find a way to finagle us to come out and just mop teams with the floor with offensive power because the defense is going to be so bad. And, like, he's going to have to just come out blazing. That way you can get some of these guys in for the second unit who can actually play defense because I just don't see it going well.
I don't see anybody that blows me away in that list of players there. You guys? You going to pick anybody for your fantasy team from that list?
Listen, Danny, I had Julius Randle last year, so that should let you know where I'm going.
Oh, no, I'm definitely picking one guy. Jalen Brunson can make my squad.
It's not Julius Randle.
Or even Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, him too.
I can see Mitch, like what his defensive percentage in the interior is.
Oh, don't worry.
I can see
he'll have what? Probably about 6 blocks a game off of help defense.
He'd be dead tired by 25 games trying to have to pick up for these guys.
Yeah.
By the way, start Parrish because we got to start keeping receipts of this stuff because the season is abound. It's coming soon. And Parrish is coming out the window saying that Evan Fournier is going to have an all-star season.
You said what?
I'll start it. Yeah. All right. I got you. I
won't throw. See, the only reason I won't think it's super outlandish is because I've seen Kyle Korver. Now, no, of course, he's not Kyle Korver, but I'm just saying I've seen Kyle Korver make an all-star team. But that's being the Knicks having to win like 50 games like the Hawks did that year, and I don't see that happening.
How old was Kyle Korver when he made that all-star team?
Yeah, good point. He was over the hump. Good point. But I mean,
You talk about with the Hawks?
Yeah. Remember their whole starting lineup made it that one year. They won like almost 60 games and they got bounced early in the playoffs. Jeff Teague made it, Kyle Korver, Al Horford, all of them.
Wow. Man. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. and the NBA's changed so much, man. I don't even know.
And I bet y'all wouldn't have known. Like y'all, nobody probably knew Kyle Korver was an all-star. Nobody would have known.
I forgot. That's crazy. Yeah. No, I mean, listen. Look at Sam coming with the news, folks. Facts. Yeah. So now, even though I said that this is the team for the year, if the free agent class is dried up and there's no defensive help that they can acquire, the Knicks could make a minor trade. They could make a minor trade where they come off of a Miles McBride and someone else and bring in a defensive specialist to play one of these positions. I would assume maybe wing or something to help them, because you guys are right. Even as much as I think I feel this team will be better and could make up for some of the losses that they had last year because of poor play, not smart play, should I say. It's going to be tougher, and they may need another defensive anchor or a defensive anchor outside of Mitch, because they don't really have one. So that could, but I think that's a move that the Knicks could make. The Knicks could figure out a small trade throughout the season with any team, just to bring in another person who can help play some good defense. I think that's the least of their worries, because they got guys who are not going to play. Miles McBride, listen, I said this before. RJ Barrett's my favorite player in the Knicks. Miles McBride was second, even though he didn't earn anything. I just liked the kid. I liked what he brought, the mentality. But I think it's over. I just think the Miles McBride experiment is done. So he's going to get moved somehow at some point.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help that you bring in a guy like Brunson, who we know is getting at least 30 minutes a night. You got to play IQ. D Rose is his boy toy of all time. So I mean, it's kind of rough.
I agree.
I think Chris Chioza might even beat him for his spot.
Let me. I am not playing, guys. Listen, if y'all don't know, I know I was sleeping on him. Look at him, Chris Chioza highlights. This kid gets it. He's kind of like a version of the dude from that we talk about a lot. He didn't light us up, but he played really good against us. He likes to get spicy with it. From the Pelicans, the Puerto Rican.
Darn it. He played at Georgia Tech too. He's from New York. I know you talk. Alvarado,
Alvarado, yes.
Oh,
he's got him, by the way.
He's like a better offensive version of Alvarado, but same like spicy, bro. Like he got some oomph to him. Shout out to Brahim in the building. What's good? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Sango Waldron is here. Extension Bad Boy for Life is in the building. What's good? Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Okay, guys. I think we've talked a little bit about this first scenario. It's time to get into the second scenario. I guess this is the scenario that everyone hopes for. Whether or not it's going to happen or not, I don't know. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Hold on. He said, Ron, I love you as well. Love you as well as all of you, but I'm going to be 100% with y'all. A lot of this is over with, not just Deuce. A lot of this. Whoa, you could have a point there, Jay Boogie. Listen,
he's saying like Donovan's coming.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And we said this before. Outside of just Donovan coming and shaking things up with some people maybe getting up out of here, the other thing is this is, as we've talked about many times, a show and prove year, man. A lot of people on the clock. RJ, Julius, the front office, Tibbs. There's a lot of people on the clock this year, and there could be some changes. So we'll see. Shout out to Soulfinger. Appreciate you as always, brother. Good to see you. Oh, and let me do this, put this in the chat right now before I forget again, just in case. All right. Okay, guys, let's get into the next scenario. Like I said, this is the scenario I guess most people would hope for. Who knows what's going to happen? All right. This is the New York Knicks roster number 2. As you can see, first off, the Knicks trade Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, and 6 first-round picks.
Oh my goodness.
3 unprotected and 3 protected for Donovan Mitchell, right? And this is also a way for us to make the trade without giving up a lot of players. Yes, we're giving up assets, but without giving up a lot of players. So that's way a lot of the roster stays intact. So you got Jalen Brunson at the point, Donovan Mitchell at the 2, RJ Barrett at the 3, Randle at the 4, Robinson at the 5. Then you got Derrick Rose. You still keep Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish for however long he's here. Carmelo Anthony is added. Isaiah Hartenstein, Emmanuel Quickly, Jericho Sims, Farron Hunt, Chris Chioza, and Miles McBride. You know, Chris Chioza is my throw-in. I just got to throw him in. So what do you guys think about this roster? Start with you, Danny.
Well, you know what name in there that I'm liking already that you added in already, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I know. Number 7 is your guy. Yeah, I know. The mellow love is real.
3 to the dome. I want to see all the guys doing that on the team if he's there.
Oh, true. It could be Knicks tape part 2, which is the only thing that I would be like interested to see if we get a swagger with it. But anyway, all right. Okay. So, what do you think about the roster itself? How do you feel about this?
Not too bad. I think my friends told me was sleeping on that guy Hartenstein. That he's going to be a contributor. What do you guys think about this guy? I haven't seen him too much.
Someone said, I didn't know you speak French, Danny. What do you mean we?
Wah, we.
Yeah, no, Hartenstein, I think, is a really good pickup. I think Knicks fans are going to fall in love with him, going to fall in love with his work ethic, and he's scrappy. He's got a little fire to him. Don't think that he's a three-point shooter the way it kind of made it look, but he's someone who can stretch the floor. He's a really good passer, and he can score a little bit around the rim. So I think people are going to fall in love with him.
That trade, they should just pull that. I speak to the head of security at one of the hotels. He's a diehard Knicks fan. He's like, if they want Obi, good riddance. Let them have Obi. But those picks, there's a lot of picks.
Danny wants the picks. So.
Yeah, like you're not getting. I don't even. No matter who gets Donovan Mitchell, Danny's getting picks. He's getting his picks. So
should give him a toothpick.
Well,
that's not a bad. I can think we could pull over 40 something wins with this unit. Maybe 43, 44 to 45.
The important question is that where do you see them going? Do you see this roster making it past the first round?
Yeah, like where do you see this leading?
Yeah, I think so.
Past the first round?
I think second round.
Second round.
Really?
Wow.
I think so. I gotta have some faith in this unit.
Listen, Danny, I need you as my motivational speaker every day I go to class because I need this motivation.
We need motivation. There's nothing else to do with it. I've been waiting since '83.
Hey, listen, Danny, I've never seen the Knicks win past the second round or even compete in the second round. So I need some of that luck.
Oh, that's right. Because Sam is a little younger, so he didn't get
a little brutal for
some
me,
of that.
Danny.
Yeah.
You weren't in the
At
Ewing
least we
era
saw
with
some of
Starks
that.
and Mason.
Nah, that Pacers series was terrible for me. I'm sorry.
I got you. I hear you. Okay.
So
All
we're
right.
So Ron, if we do this, right?
And
The only
Sam,
thing
I'm going to you now,
right.
so you can make your comment, and then you can comment on the rest of whatever you want to say. Go ahead, bro.
This is just hurting my head because I just don't see how does IQ play. Like I feel like he has to get moved too, because how is he about to play on this roster? If you've got Brunson, you know he's gonna throw Rose in there. You're not even starting Grimes, and you know he wants to put Grimes on the floor for defense. I know he likes IQ too, but like if this is gonna happen, I think you see it more so IQ or Reddish goes too, because I think he'll rather put Grimes at the 3 off the bench than not play IQ. So I think you'll see him add Reddish in that trade. I don't see it being a way because you have to pay IQ soon. So why bench him and have him get around 8 minutes a night and reduce his minutes? I don't know. The logjam is crazy on this roster.
It's very true. You make a very good point. It is real. And just so to your point, now this is not ideal. This is not the way you want to do it. But if the Knicks if they value their young athletes, and they want to hold on to them, then it's a wait and see approach. Because I do feel things will get resolved with certain people as the season progresses. At some point, God forbid, appreciate him a lot, but at some point, Derrick Rose is going to get hurt. And when Derrick Rose gets hurt, Quickly is going to fill that role, and Derrick Rose may never get it back. Just putting that out there. That's the only way I see it happening if they want to keep Quickly on this team and keep Derrick Rose here. It's just going to have to be a wait and see for Derrick Rose to have something that pops up and Quickly fills in that role, and then he just never relinquishes it. Because at that point, you would assume that Quickly is going to be fighting for that playing time and want to, how does it, D likes to say, how does it impact winning? I think he's going to try to impact winning as best he can. And I don't think Derrick Rose will ever get that spot back if he gets hurt again at some point in this upcoming season. Plus, technically it'll be his last year. I just think that he'll just become a mentor off the bench, and that's how Quickly gets some minutes at least. But it won't be a lot, because even outside of Derrick Rose and being there, just Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell and the minutes RJ is going to have, you can't see Quickly getting a lot. This is one of those real hard facts, the cold hard facts, like the commercial for the, they like to say. These guys are going to play a lot of minutes, man.
And you're into the stats more than me. How does the ball usage even work with that starting line?
So between Donovan Mitchell and Jalen alone, the ball usage, they would take up 36 plus 25.
I mean, goodness gracious.
That's over 60.
All right, and then Randle, you know what Randle's gonna bring to the table, and then you got to find a way to give RJ the ball contract year. This is rough.
You cannot roll it with this roster opening night. Throughout the season, and be okay with that.
They're getting at you, Ron. They want Derrick spelled with 2 R's and an IC.
He's earned that respect, Ron.
2 R's and an IC. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna type this in. Oh, I can't. It's a PDF, so you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I tried to vouch for you.
Listen, I was up at 3 a.m. doing this. Look, I can't. I'm sorry.
I don't know how you even work. Yeah, Ron. My brain shuts off at 10:30. Man, I can't do it.
Dude, I fell asleep like 2 times.
Yeah.
I was with the laptop. Oh, yeah, Derek. Oh, my bad. Now, I appreciate that, though. Thank you, Extension Bad Boy for Life. Yeah, I just typed it in, man. You're right, though. He does deserve that, man. I appreciate that. Bad job by me. Bad job by me.
Oh, Keith. Put Keith.
All right. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right, hold on 1 second. We'll get back into, because I want to get into more of these takes on it, because I didn't really get to hear as much about it. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Thank you for the generous super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you as always. Your contributions are always duly noted. You don't have to do it, but we appreciate it if you decide that that's what you want to do, as well as anybody else. Thank you, guys. He said, when I look at the team roster that we have right now and imagine it being a finished product, I think we have Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly, and Boston. From here on out, my new name is Boogie J. Come home. Oh, okay. All right.
So according to Jay Boogie, this roster is going to contend with possibly the top 5 of the East.
Okay. Could be.
I mean, listen, what I want to say is, you can't know for sure, but one thing we can possibly feel is that with certain players on the team, maybe the Knicks as a whole play better. Maybe they're inspired. Maybe they feel like because that sometimes you play over your head. Like in the almighty 4th seed, like State likes to say, they played over their head. I mean, they were a middle of the pack type team. for most of the year, and then all of a sudden they shot up and got a little above the middle of the pack to the 4th seed because they went on that roll. But they really like the defense was great, but they started to believe in themselves, and then they started to give that effort. Like guys who aren't really known. I'll never forget watching. There was one game, but I do forget who the game was against. Sorry, guys, my memory's rotting. But there was a game where the Knicks were playing against a team, and in the first half, they were kind of going back and forth, and the team took a little bit of a lead, I believe. And in the second quarter, the Knicks turned on the defensive intensity. Going into the half, I've never seen a Knicks team in recent times play that type of defense. Like Derrick Rose was getting, he was up in dudes' faces. Like they went on such a run to close out the half. I was like, damn. And that was in the middle of the season before they started to go on the run. So you could see, like, when guys buy in and believe that you got something going, you don't know what can happen. And the reason why I say that is because with this team, Jalen Brunson makes them a better team. Okay, it makes them a little smarter. Donovan Mitchell makes them a better offensive team, gives them a little bit more point production. I know the defensive end. You bring in a Carmelo Anthony. Now, Carmelo Anthony, from what we know of him, could be a monkey wrench in this team because the way his usage is and the way Tibbs might see him could really mess up some other players. However, if Carmelo Anthony is like, nah, Tibbs, because he has the cachet to do that. Nah, man, I'm here. Just put me in whatever role that works. But I want these young guys to play. I'm gonna talk them up, put them, give them some information as to what they can use to get better, and I'm gonna be there to help them to to get through all of that because I want everybody to become better. If he gets into that Knicks tape role, then maybe you never know. Maybe some of these guys, maybe some of these guys start playing better than we expect. That's the only thing I'm saying. Sometimes, the Kool-Aid gets sipped and people start drinking it and they start playing above their heads. It could happen. I'm not saying it will, because the chance is you're going to see typical Melo. So,
do you know what that scenario remind me of? It reminded me of Eddie, where John Sally was on the bench and he was an old injured vet, but he could put the ball in the basket, and he came in at a phenomenal run, but the injuries. Yeah, man, I don't think that's gonna happen with Melo, bro.
I don't see it either, but wishful thinking. You know me, I'm all about wishful thinking.
I know.
All right, so D, what do you think about this roster? A little bit more in depth. I know you kind of what your on the surface opinion is, but what do you think as far as what they can possibly do, and if you can kind of, I know, like, how do you build from here?
Okay, so which one do you want me to answer first? How do we build for this roster? Or
no, let's go with what do you think about the roster as
presently constructed?
Yeah, and then how can you build from here?
Guys like Sherwood and Keith, they're making me laugh because they're saying what I'm thinking. And because my big hurdle is the defensive end. If you're going to have Jalen and Donovan at the court at the same time, okay, this is much more star power than we've had here in eons. And teams are going to be coming after us, bro. It ain't going to be stuff last year where you see guys laughing on the court while we're already down 10. That's not going to happen, bro. Mm-hmm. Guys are going to be coming for a throw. And I just don't feel that we have the defensive prowess, especially on the perimeter, in order to go back and forth. Offensively, this will be a very fun team. Very fun. They will be top 5, top 10 in the league in scoring and offensive categories because it's going to be available there. But defensively, I think it's going to be the complete opposite. Presently constructed, it reminds me of like a 40-win, 42-win team. This roster is presently constructed.
I could see you sneaking in to a play-in game, probably 9th seed with this team. I don't. If you get the 8th, it's like by a few games, but I see this being a play-in team because of the defensive lapses. You can't make up for that. Like you need defense to make the playoffs and make a run.
Now, and I'm being nice with that because I just think. I think it could be worse than that. I think that's best case scenario.
Definitely.
I think it could be worse than that. Now, what I did enjoy from your demographic here, I did like the fact that you win 3 unprotected and 3 protected, right? Because we had this conversation. there's nobody on the planet Earth, as far as a single team, that is going to give up 4 unprotected picks. That's not going to happen. And nobody's going to break that record. I mean, or make history in doing something like that. Not for a guy like Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
The compromise, depending how bad the Knicks want him, because and I want to give a shout out. And tomorrow I'm going to have a show on Julius' Randle contract and stuff like that. That's going to coincide with all this. But without giving out too much, I'm going to say that shout out to the front office for showing fortitude through this process. I think the low ball proposal that they gave him was hilarious. And it kind of made me think, like, okay, are they really serious in pursuing Donovan, or did they just try to market? They say this guy's out of his mind. We'll see if he goes down. If not, we're good. I wonder if that's what's going on. Because I think the only way, because here's the whole thing, right? Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Knicks go into the season without making this trade? Can the Knicks afford to do that?
And I think that's the question everybody is really asking themselves, is because think about how long and drawn out that this interest has been going on for. I don't know if they can afford to not do it. But in the training camp, something needs to happen. I don't know.
Now, a report came out yesterday that Utah has come out publicly and said that they want to get this Donovan Mitchell deal done before training camp. And it was reported by Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, because they don't have a choice.
Not
they don't
necessarily.
have a choice. I feel like they don't have a choice.
I hear you. I mean, listen, if it was me, I could hold Donovan Mitchell for a half a year, bro. I'm under no pressure. But if they feel pressure like that, and that report is real, and I think it is real because I take Brian Windhorst's word for things, right? Then that means this deal gets done before training camp.
It does. It does. Salute, Boogie. What's going on?
Let's go, Boog.
Salute, man. How your men doing, man? Blessings.
What's up, Jay?
Helping, safe to you all. Shout out to the chat, the most beautiful, the most loyal, the most respectful, the greatest sports people it is in the world, to you guys in the chat. I hope everybody having a beautiful Saturday, which we should call Splash Pool Saturday. If you ain't nowhere by the ocean waters, you know what I'm saying? I'm just right now, I'm in my mom's house right now, trying to get everything moved up out of here right now. So, I've been rocking with y'all for a minute. Y'all been helping me get through a little bit. I just wanted to come on just for a brief segment, man. And I'm sick, y'all. When I say I'm sick, I'm unhealthy by this team right now. Because what I look at and I think from the times when we had all the cap space, all the money to try to go and get people to come here, we were unsuccessful to make that happen. And then here we are again in another situation where we got all the draft picks. We got everything to beat everybody it is in the league for All-Star who wants up out of Utah, and we can't get it done. It hurts. It hurts to me because I'm like, when is something going to work for us on our side? What do we do to each and everybody else besides play basketball games, win or lose, get paid, and we support all that and come up with all the topics and do everything we do? When are we going to win something? When is something going to fall in our favor? It just gets harder and harder every time, man. Just trying to pull up and climb up these ladders and these ropes just to be a successful basketball playing franchise that we are, where we can be happy and feel good about because we know that's our team, and we can't get over the hump because of whatever reasons this guy Danny Ainge got going on and whatever reasons that Leon has going on. They can't come together and make this thing right for a person that wants to be here. It's bad when a person want to be here and he can't get here. You know what I'm saying? It just, it bothers me. I'm hurt by it. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay upbeat and everything about the situation. But this right here, this nagging on and ain't nothing being done. We can't move on. We can't get started. We don't know which way we're going. We're going to force the trade or we're going to walk away. Whatever we do, if we do not make the trade, only thing I can say is fans and people just feel that maybe Leon did the best he could. And if it don't work and we get off to a rugged season start, don't blame Leon about the Donovan situation. Because, you know, he wants to make the move, but then also he don't want to give up the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's understandable. And Danny's trying to play hardball. I wish the commissioner would come in inside and bring these two guys in or something like that. But we know that that can't happen. Those are those two guys' personal business. But I'm just, I'm just like, I'm tired of being on the losing end of not the wins and losses, but on the losing end to where good things can't happen for us, man. Man, I just wanted to come up and vent, just for a second and let everybody know where Jay Boogie is feeling that. Because we all work hard and put our hard-working thoughts, energy, efforts, money, everything into this right here. And you all deserve for something good to happen for all the hard work that you're putting in. That's everybody. I don't care if you own a podcast. I don't care if you're in a chat. I don't care if you in the Twitter spaces. Wherever you at as a New York Knicks family member, you deserve for something to happen. And I apologize for the hatred being going against us for all these years, man, because it don't make no sense, man.
I hear you, Jay Boogie. Appreciate that, man. Listen, you speak for yourself, but as well as you speak for a lot of Knicks fans out there that do feel that way. It is outside of just whether it's the smart move to make for the Knicks going forward. It's another thing that is a little frustrating when you know there is somebody who wants to come to the team.
You can't close the deal.
And you can't close the deal for whatever reason. That's a little frustrating because right now we're in a situation. I'm hearing like a little bit of feedback or noise or something in the back. Oh, okay, Danny. Thank you, man. It is a little bit frustrating because, okay, this trade is not like a slam dunk for everybody. Some people are like, yeah, I mean, I want Donovan Mitchell because he's a really good player. We could use him. Then other people are like, but he's the type of player that we still got to work around. And how do we make it work? So it's not like a clear-cut winner for everybody, but there could be a situation where we could be in. What if the guy we were looking for was DeJounte Murray and he was the perfect fit for our team and we really wanted him, and then San Antonio was playing hardball with us and wouldn't give him up, and we going back and forth, and we're still the best trade scenario and we got the best option to give them what they want, but they want to play hardball. Like, it would be mad frustrating, and then that would be even worse because everybody like, yo, there's no reason not to get him, but we can't get him here. So I get it. It's annoying. It's annoying, especially dealing with a guy like Danny Ainge who is trying to get. I get it. He's doing his job. He's trying to get the best for his organization. It's just stressful.
But it can happen.
Yeah. Go ahead, D.
Listen, if Danny's going to have to acquiesce to the three at some point, but the three unprotected, right? So I would heavily suggest this, but I'm saying that Boogie, I could understand your guys' perspective into saying, and I get it, that if you go ahead and pit out all the draft capital, right, and go all in on winning a championship, if one comes home, we good. Everybody shuts the hell up because we got that one. The thing is that when you do get that one, you might be depleted for the rest of the decade.
Yeah.
So, so which way do you go?
I go to Spider Way.
Well, listen,
so Daddy wants to win chip.
Yeah, the part of my whole thing is, and I know that there is a big contingent of Knicks fans that want that one chip. Like, if the Knicks can win the championship next year and be terrible for the next 8 after, they'll be happy because at least they got that chip. We saw a chip, and you know that the Knicks won top for that one season, and everybody, you know, saw them get to that point. I get that too. I understand it. I'm just more of, I want them to be able to be good for a while, and hopefully get a chance to get a chip. But I get it. I get it on both sides. I understand. Like, I can't say, me being a Knicks fan, I'm 45 years old. I've never seen them win a chip, you know, personally. So if they won a chip, I mean, I'm gonna be ecstatic. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I see how it's a rough one for a lot of people. Like, you know, I get it. It's a lot of craziness. Shout out, excuse me. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said, it's so hard to hear knowledgeable fans have so little respect for our own up and coming. We big up and desire bums on other teams and ignore our own talents. I know that you are speaking of the general consensus of things. You do value the young core we have. I know you also value athleticism. That's why you appreciate guys like Obi. Listen, at some point, Parrish, the Knicks have to draw a line in the sand. And I'm talking about the organization. At some point, decisions are going to get made. This has been kind of like it's not a fairy tale, but it's like we're going with the flow. We're getting the draft picks. We're bringing guys in. At some point, you know, and don't forget, Leon Rose is new to this. So he's just still filling himself out. He's getting a little bit more aggressive with things. He's taking a stand on certain things. But we don't know the full extent of his personality and how he wants to run this group. It could be a point where Leon starts to turn into something different. And now you like, okay, now it's put up a shut up time. Leon's looking at you. Okay, I'm watching you for the next 3 months. He may not say it to you, but that's what's going on. You don't do what you got to do, you out of here. We haven't got to that yet, but don't think it can't. We've already seen him clean up some of his mess from last year, right, in this offseason. You don't know the direction. Maybe once he starts to putting the money into these guys, bringing in a Donovan Mitchell or not, or giving RJ a contract. Once the money's out there and you don't have a lot of flexibility, you start to make some interesting moves. People start to be on the chopping block. You start to move people off in some wild, like, you never know what can happen. I'm just saying, like, Leon could change up how nice everything looks right now. It looks comfortable for these young guys. It could switch up quick. That's all I'm saying. All right, let me give another shout out to a couple people in the chat, and then we're gonna move on to the next scenario. And I'll say it in a minute. Hold on. First off, shout out to Jarvis LaFleur. Appreciate you, brother. As always, good to see you. The Louisiana connection. Cormega's in the building. What's good, Cormega? Appreciate you. Ron Sarmiento is in the building. Pudge Nice is here, bro. Pudge Nice is in the building. My guy, Yankees Morning Brew, is in the building. First off, let me do this, man. Let me give a shout out to my guy, man. Even though he's a Yankee fan, I'm not going to hold that against him. You know, he's still good. He's still a good person. I love it. Shout out to my guy, man, because you know what? Let me see if I can find it. Shoot. Come on, Ron. Yeah, okay. What day is it? August 30th. Guys, I know I always try to get you guys to tune in to Yankees Morning Brew. My guy, Project Nerd, a.k.a. Hector, in the building. But if you can, man, put this one on your calendar. Definitely be there for him, man, on August 30th at 11 a.m. That's August 30th at 11. I don't care if you're at work. Just turn it on, man. Listen to it while you're working. August 30th, he's going to have Jerry Ferrera on the show. They're going to be talking Yankees. You guys know Jerry Ferrera from Entourage. Right? He played Turtle. That's right. He's also played the lawyer Proctor on, you know, Power. I love Jerry Ferrera, man.
Diehard Knicks fan.
And he's a diehard Knicks fan. So, you know, maybe I have to talk to Heck later about that. You know, you know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, man, definitely tune in August 30th and rock out with Yankees Morning Brew, Jerry Ferrera at 11 a.m. Salute to you, brother. Good get, and I'm happy for you. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to David Parker in the building. What's good? International Andy is here. What's going on? 27 is in the building. And King Ribby is here. What's good, yo? What's good? Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, let's get up this next scenario, man. Now, look, I'm going to say this again, guys. First off, this is me just putting something together. This may not be anywhere close to what it could be, but I'm just going off of kind of the stuff we've heard and figuring out how could I just do this off the fly right now. Don't be mad. don't shoot the messenger. Just putting it out there that this is a scenario, and even if it's not the scenario you like, it could be something that could happen. Shout out to Victor Vivera is in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you. Always saluting you. Thank you for being here. And William, salute from Brazil. What's going on? Shout out to my man Victor. Tell him I said what's up. William.
Shout out to 27. He's been killing it on the chat, bro.
Yeah. I see him going back and forth. All right, here we go with the third scenario. Boom. New York Knicks roster number 3. Let me get the trade stuff out. First off, yeah, I know it gets crazy. The Knicks trade Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, and 7 first-round picks. 3 unprotected and 4 protected to the Utah Jazz for Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks trade R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Miles McBride to Toronto for OG Anunoby. You might say, damn, all that for OG? Well, they're not keeping Cam, and Miles McBride may not make the team either. It's really R.J. Barrett for OG Anunoby, but R.J. Barrett makes $10 million. OG Anunoby makes 17. So it's about the money. The Knicks trade Julius Randle to Phoenix for Jay Crowder, Landry Shamet, and Torrey Craig, and 1 unprotected pick. Once again, not saying that Julius Randle, like Jay Crowder and Landry Shamet and Torrey Craig are worth Julius Randle. It's really Jay Crowder and that unprotected pick. But to make the money work, you got to throw these other guys in for the trade to look like it makes sense. Then that leaves the Knicks roster with Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, OG Anunoby, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. I'm bringing over Rokas Jokibitis. That's right. He's coming home, folks. Quentin Grimes, Jay Crowder, Landry Shamet, Isaiah Hartenstein, Emmanuel Quickley, Jericho Sims, Torrey Craig, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Chiozza. Now, once again, this is a building option for the Knicks. This is not a championship team. This does not mean that this is the team that's going to be here, that's going to bring us to the promised land. This is how you get up from under certain contracts, having to pay certain people, how you can continue to have some flexibility. So like after this year, maybe you decide I'm cutting Landry Shamet, or he comes off, I believe. Torrey Craig, I think is 1 year left, if I'm not mistaken. Carmelo Anthony, you're going to sign him to a 1 year deal. Who else? Jay Crowder is the same situation. I think he's in that same situation too, but you may decide to keep him or not. But the point is, you get some flexibility. You give up the 7 first-round picks, but you're still giving up 3 and 3. That extra pick is coming from Phoenix in the Julius Randle trade. And so therefore, you still have money because you can decide to come off of some of these guys. Julius is gone. You're not paying RJ. And that's one less issue to have, if that's your case, if that's how they want to go about it. And you're building around Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, and you're going forward there. So you're starting with, okay, these are the pieces that I'm looking at. And OG Anunoby you could throw in as he's a good role player that you could build with. Then you also have Rokas here. So now you know he's your backup point guard. And you got other players that you're looking at and say, okay, I could use these guys. But you're building guys. I'm not saying that this is the team that you're going to win with. I'm saying this is a building point. It allows you to get off some other stuff, and then you move forward. And once again, I'm not even telling you what my scenario is, which one I like, but I want to put all 3 of these out. I'm going to put them side by side so you see them again. And then I'm going to put a poll in the chat for you guys to vote on what you think is the best scenario. Now, keep in mind, you're thinking about 2 things. You're thinking about, 1, this is the team that they would rock out with for the remainder of this NBA season. And 2, this is your starting point for how you build going forward. Keep that in mind, because I don't want you just to think, okay, this is our team. It's also think about the fact that you got to build, because even in the other scenarios, think about what you're going to have left and how you're going to be able to get another player in. How do you move forward after this? All right, guys, here we go. Jay Boogie, I'll start with you. I know that, like I know guys don't, like I said, this is just me throwing stuff out. I'm just throwing it at the wall, seeing if it sticks. Don't kill me. What up, Jay Boogie? What do you think, man? Oh, are you on mute? I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
I'm thinking about bringing Ron on home to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Because he had been throwing the ball, the first ball of the game. I really like the third one, getting rid of Julius. I'm really on that right there, because at the same time it lets me know that you're making a move, that you decided to go young, because him and Obi cannot be on this team. You cannot come back next year with really both them guys on this team. That's a disaster off rip. And then I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying, the roster that you got, man. I'm figuring out how I can go small ball, you know what I'm saying? And when Jalen's on the bench, I can just put Donovan at the 1, and I can go Grimes, I can go OG, I can go Jay Crowder, and I can slide Melo in there and give me 3 solid defensive players and 1 dude that could get a bucket from anywhere, and probably the best mid-range dude it is. You know, it's a lot of things that can be done. That right there makes me feel good, feels all right, you know what I'm saying, about the squad and everything. I know RJ's not on it, you know what I'm saying, but it's a lot of hope and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, good things going on with that roster. And we still got some young youth. And we got other moves to make after the trade that you did that'll allow us to get back some more first-round picks, you know what I'm saying, with some of these guys' names before the deadline. So I really like and dig your homework you did on that right there. The Julius Randle trade. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing that. That's my goal right there. And it makes me feel a little bit better, because man, y'all just don't know what type of mood I've been in, man. This team. So thank you for helping me out with that right there, man. I like that right there.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you could kind of see it and for what it is. Like I said, this isn't by no means what I think could. It's an opportunity, because we know that some stuff that's been out there, it could happen this way. I'm not saying it would, but the other thing is, once again, the way I did it, I looked at how the money would work and what the Knicks could possibly ask for, because regardless of, Phoenix is in a certain position where they want to bring somebody in, but they don't need to do it. I mean, they were a 60-win team without doing it. The point is, they're at a position of need, and we could help fulfill that need. And all we ask is we'll take back, some of your contracts that maybe you want to come off of, but give us 1 unprotected pick.
I like that. Great job on my behalf, man.
Oh, and damn it, man! Come on, Ron. I messed that up. I apologize, guy. See, this is what happens when you do stuff at 3:30 in the morning. This was supposed to be a protected pick. I apologize. There's a big difference between the two. Let's keep that correct. This is a protected pick, not unprotected. So that's why I put it up here for. This should be protected pick. Sorry. Because unprotected pick is like freaking gold. It's hard to get those. I apologize, guys. So ignore that part. It's protected pick. But the point is, it's still a first-round pick that you can use to send to Utah to make them look like they get their stats up. Oh, yeah, we got 7 first-round picks. Yeah, whatever. All right. Sam, wait. Uh-oh. Is he? I think he bounced. Yeah, my bad. I couldn't even see him because everything on the screen. Sam, what do you think?
I'm just... I mean, gosh, you're really killing me here, Ron. Golly.
Hey, man, listen.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the RJ Barrett one. I just can't get it. So we're going to send RJ home to cook us every season in the same division for a guy who can't stay healthy? Like, we thought, like, people can say what they want about RJ Barrett. At least he's there for the majority of the season, if not all of it, to play. You're going to be paying OJ, and he's not even going to suit up, but like 20, 30 games. Like that one hurts.
Well,
you're basically starting Jay Crowder. That's basically what you're telling me, Ron. We're starting Jay Crowder next season if we do this. OG's not going to be healthy.
It could be the case.
So that means
it could happen.
Yeah, so we're headed to the lottery with that. And then you kind of hurt me with the making it a protected pick now. So that's going to Utah. Is that what you're saying? The
No.
Phoenix one?
It's protect. Yeah, it would go to Utah. It's
So
just
so basically that would be an additional one that we'd have. So we technically still only send 3.
correct.
Okay. So that it just really hurts me. That the RJ Barrett one hurts me because I just feel like it'll be a downgrade long term. And then the Julius Randle trade, I don't know how enticed Phoenix would be to get Randle there. I don't know how he would really fit next to Aiden if that's really what they're looking for. But that RJ Barrett one, my stomach's hurting over that one right now.
I hear you. It's a tough one, a tough pill to swallow, dude. He's my favorite player. I'm just
for OG though. You can get better than that.
Well, listen. One thing to understand is, on paper, a healthy OG Anunoby right now at this moment is better than RJ Barrett. At this very moment,
how many games did he play last year?
I get it.
It was 30 something, right?
Even when he did play, he had guys ahead of him as far as ball usage, and OG only really got to eat when guys were out. When that Toronto team had everybody back, Barnes and Van Vliet and Siakam was there most of the season, but like having all those guys that they normally depend on available, OG was not getting the looks, and that's why it's one of the reasons why OG's not really happy over there and why they're looking to move off of him, because they can see, like, with him not being healthy, and then when he was healthy, they couldn't really use him because of the fact that you had your main guys back. There's an issue. Like, I don't necessarily know of OG being injury prone for his career. I know he wasn't healthy that much last year, but like, I look at him like maybe it was just one of them seasons. That's the only way I looked at it. That's why
if you do that RJ Barrett trade, you're going to regret it long term. OG's not gonna be who we think he is, who we think he might be.
I don't doubt it, brother. I do not.
He's not like that.
But OG is a much better defender, and he gives you something that you need on the defensive end to combat having Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson in your backcourt.
I thought RJ Barrett was your favorite player, bro.
Yeah,
he is.
He's dogging him like that.
How could you say that OG Anunoby is a better talent than RJ Barrett?
RJ was 20.
You just look at the way when OG gets the opportunity to play, from the fact that he can put up offensive numbers similar to RJ, but he plays better defense than him. That equates to him being better at the moment. Now, that doesn't mean that I feel like after this season, like when you see RJ play, RJ will be better than OG. I'm just telling you right now, at the moment, when they're both healthy, OG seems like the better player.
I just feel like RJ is going to be like way better than I'm not going to say way better, but at least better than OG with a point guard now. OG's had a point guard his whole career. RJ Barrett hasn't had a point guard since he stepped foot in the NBA. Like, that matters. And then OG can't stay healthy to save his life. He has good games, but then he gets hurt. He gets banged up. We're not going to trade RJ Barrett, a guy who plays 90% of the season, for a guy who can only suit up for less than half.
Do you know what RJ Barrett's wingspan? And I'm not going to do all that, but let me tell you, OG, just as far as being a true 6'7", having a good wingspan, having some athleticism, and the defensive prowess he has, I'm telling you, you bring this guy in right now, he will help impact winning for the team because he gives them something they're missing. Now, I'm saying this, listen, I'm being very impartial and I'm like looking at it, with open eyes, open lenses. I'm not saying my opinion yet. I'm gonna, you're gonna wait for that. I'm gonna give it to you in a little bit, and let's go from there. But there's a case to be made that a healthy OG can work out really good for the Knicks right now as currently constructed. But that doesn't mean that I like I said, what you saying, Sam, I do believe that once RJ gets going this year, he's going to play great. I think he's going to be fantastic with Jalen out there, and you're going to see the best RJ Barrett you've ever seen, my opinion. But I'm just throwing this out there for the sake of making the argument and for people to look at this scenario as a point of emphasis for them having a starting point to build going forward.
Hey, and D, I didn't even peep this. You saw what Love Charm said? I didn't even peep this. Look at the bench. I mean, we're going from bench mob to bench cabbage patch. What is this? I have Rokas at my starting point. Jay Crowder. Who is playing power forward? Carmelo?
Yes, sir.
Goodness.
Okay. Ron.
Now,
okay,
hold on,
okay, go.
Are you trying to win the championship next year? Are you worried about making the playoffs and going far next year? Or are you trying to win in 2 or 3 years? Are you trying to build so that you can put yourself in a position to go get another guy? Keep it in mind. That's, like I said, this is a build scenario, guys. Keep it in mind. Now, go ahead, D.
Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind. And Ron, you know we're guys, bro, but I got to get on you for this one, bro. Let's deal with the first one. 7 draft picks for Donovan Mitchell. 7. What room you want to build so much? What room are you going to have to build?
Well, remember, we're only giving up 6. Our 3 and 3. We're not giving up that 7th one. That's coming from Phoenix.
I'm going to get to Phoenix in a second. Okay. All right. Hold on. So right now it's 6, and then Phoenix would be the 7th with their unprotected. You already heard our thoughts about trading RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Miles McBride for OJ Anunoby. And here's the thing about Phoenix, and we talked about this. We just read reports that now before the season ended, Julius Randle was going to have to be moved with a draft pick coming from the Knicks. Now over the offseason, they upped the stake and said it might have to be 2 picks in order for an opposition team to obtain Julius Randle. So in so many words, I don't want anything to do with Julius Randle. So why do you think that Phoenix will give up Jay Crowder, a wing defender that shoots 36, 37, somewhere around there from 3? There's a curse on Landry Shamet. I forgot his name. I think it's Cause on the Grove. He has a thing with Landry Shamet that every team he jumps on, they never make it past the second round. That went further the year before or something like that. So anyway, and Torrey Craig is another wing defender. And Chris Paul is aging. We got Macau still. Devin's never been like a great wing defender like that. Of course, could put the ball in the bucket, but he's not your number 1 guy. You think Phoenix is going to give up a 1 unprotected? When the consensus around the league is that the Knicks would have to give up 1 or 2 draft picks in order for the teams to obtain them?
And Keith, good point. That's what I've been bringing up ever since we wanted to trade Randle. He has a 15% trade kicker. So you're also paying to get rid of Randle for that. Just so we keep that in mind.
Very good point.
Yeah, great point.
It's a very good point.
That's a tough one. And that's what my stuff's going to be about with Randle tomorrow, because there's a whole thing with that. But I think, let's just say your scenario plays out, right? You're giving up a lot. This is a lot. And then on top of that, you're not done. And we talked about, because don't forget, you're giving up a lot of draft capital, right? You give it up probably your best young trade piece in RJ Barrett. And you're giving up, but you keep, see, I see where you were going here, because you're keeping the young guys. You're keeping your Grimes, you're keeping your Obi, and you're keeping Quickly. What if they don't pan out, Ron? How do you move? See, when you do this, this has to be sure shots.
There has to be.
You can't have a sure shot with this Knick roster the way it's currently constructed. Remember, we only got out of this mix of players. Hold on, let me double check. Yep. There's only 2 first-round picks here, folks. So when you talk about sure shots and how can you figure out what's going to work and what's not, there's no way to tell, man. There's only 2 first-round picks on this roster. Well, okay, let's say there's only 1 first-round pick on this roster that the Knicks drafted, and the other one they trading with RJ Barrett. But the only other first-round pick is Quentin Grimes. Everybody else is a second-round pick. So you don't know if any of these guys are going to pan out that they drafted. I'm talking about. It's a tough one. I don't know. This is all.
If you're gonna ultimately decide to move RJ Barrett, there has to be better out there than OG. Straight up, with no picks, Toronto has to give us a pick or something. Like there's.
And don't get me wrong. I agree with you. Like Sam, the reason why I did this trade with Toronto is because, you know, RJ's from Toronto. He wouldn't mind playing for Toronto. Toronto's a good basketball team, and there might be a need for him to acquire him because of, you know, Toronto loves its own, and it makes sense. He's playing for Team Toronto. Like the organization might feel like, okay, that's somebody we could work with, even if he's not reaching his full potential or he's not turning into because don't forget, the NBA apparently, if you go around the NBA, they're not sold on RJ Barrett's potential and what he can do. So when you think about a trade partner, I'm thinking, well, who would kind of look at the promise of RJ? The fact that he might be somebody that the faithful will cling to anyway because he's one of their own, and he plays for the international team. I think that Toronto might be a suitor that might look at him in that way. I could definitely, if you give me some more time, I could definitely come up with another team that gives us something back that we prefer even better, that might take RJ. I'm just thinking Toronto is an easier suitor than some of the others.
See, that's why at the beginning, I was telling y'all how I feel about when is something going to happen in our favor. See, that's why I went with the bottom list, the Julius, and say we need to fleece somebody. That's a fleece to me if we can get that to happen. But y'all know, yeah, huh?
Yeah,
no, it is a fleece.
Unprotected.
Yeah, but y'all gotta also remember it's a difference between Ron at 3:30 a.m. in the morning with a yarn and y'all two all daylight on a college all football weekend. Y'all guys hitting them up now. But I take the fleece. I don't even want to look at the other stuff. I need a fleece. I need something for us to get over. Something go our way. Fine. Please.
What would Phoenix cap situation look like too if they get Randle?
I don't even care what Phoenix do. That Phoenix thing is over with.
I mean, they might have more in the luxury tax than the Warriors at that point.
They get ready to go straight downhill from here on out. It's over with. They didn't get it when they should have got it. They can forget it now.
But in the terms of Phoenix, maybe they're willing to do that. Listen, Phoenix is they're the best team that's never winning. You know what I mean? At this point, when you look at them, they should be winning. So maybe they say, we'll do it. We'll take another shot at something different. Because the one thing Phoenix does do well is play defense. I know this takes a couple of the defensive players.
I was about to
say. but you still got one of the better defenders in the league at Chris Paul, even at his advanced age. You got a really good defender in Mikal Bridges. You got a decent defender in as far as help defense. He's not really a great one-on-one defender in Ayton, but he's a good help defender. And then the rest of their team makeup, I don't know who else is on the Phoenix roster. That's the other thing. We don't know who they acquired via draft, or if they made any pickups in the small fashion, but that just adds something because Phoenix knows how to build their team. They do get pieces that work, and later we're like, oh, that makes sense. So you never know how their roster really. We're only looking at our roster right now and how this would shake out for us once again. And I'm gonna put up the side by side so you guys can kind of take another look, and then I'll put up the poll so you can vote on which one you think works the best for our team going forward. Once again, this is only a starting point because this team right here may not have a great success rate going forward for this season. But after the season, 4 or 5 of these guys could be gone. And the Knicks could have the flexibility, still have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. Maybe I would say keep OG. You still got Obi Toppin. You still got Quentin Grimes. You still got IQ. You still got Mitchell Robinson. And then you got some money to play with. You might be able to even go out and sign a free agent. Or you might be able to, the same guys that they did pick up. If because I don't know about all the contracting. Like I said, I didn't go too deep in this. If Landry Shamet has more than 1 year on his deal left, I think it's only one. But if he has more than one, he's got two. So if he has more than one, he can be used in a trade scenario where you can move him. You might say the other thing is the season will play out. Maybe we love Quentin Grimes. Maybe we love IQ. Maybe we love Obi, but they don't have good seasons, or not as good as you would like to see now that they're, getting more minutes. And you say, listen, we need to move these guys, and then you can go out and get something else. The point is you have a little bit more flexibility to go get somebody in the immediate. Now, you're still giving up draft capital, but most likely you're going to give up the draft capital anyway, because I feel like the Knicks are going to make this trade with Donovan, but if it's not Donovan, they might swing this draft capital in someone else's favor. Maybe they won't give up the 3, maybe they'll give up the 2, but who knows? You're still going to give up something. At some point, the Knicks are going to make a move. They're not putting all these pieces together for no reason. And as much as we would like to hold on to something and draft somebody out there that might present itself, Thibodeau is still here as the coach. The only way I can see them changing the way they think is if they get rid of Thibodeau. But Thibodeau's still here, so you got to look at it. With Thibodeau here, he's not going to be wanting a whole bunch of rookies on this team. He's not going to play them. So you got to think that they're going to want to get some solid NBA talent. And this is why these scenarios are created. Yeah, this is why these scenarios are created. If Thibodeau wasn't here and you had a coach that was more willing to play more people on the roster or different, flexible with his rotations and wanted to give young people more of a shot, didn't have that same feeling, then everything's different. But that's not the case right now. All right, guys. So let me get this out of here. And we'll go from there, man. We'll go from there. We'll put up the 3 side by side, and then I'll put the poll up. And then after we get some poll interaction, pause, I will give my opinion on which one of these scenarios I like. But yeah, it is something to think about. And I know I've stoked the conversation, so people are like, "Yo, you crazy, Ron? You tripping?" But once again, doesn't mean this is the roster that I'm in love with. I'm just trying to get some people out of here so you can move forward. So this is the 3 scenarios, guys. Bear with me as I just put this poll up real quick. Okay. And I hope that we get what we want, man, as Knicks fans. Because I don't know. Not with Danny Ainge.
He's going to have to acquiesce at some point. Ainge. The 4, that's not going to ride. No team is going to do that single-handedly.
No.
So he's going to have to lower his...
Yeah, that would be insanity to give up 4 unprotected.
I don't think it's ever been done.
You're trying to get fired unless you're getting LeBron, Michael Jordan in your prime, and even that is still like, who else do you have around it? Like I don't know. That's absolute insanity. 4 unprotected.
The question is that, of course, I think the smart thing would do would just to wait out Danny Ainge until he compromises and goes down from his asking price, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, and he's going to have to, because no team's going to do it. The only thing I can think is maybe some teams get together, but I can't see teams taking certain role players on teams and giving up 2 unprotected draft picks to go ahead and acquiesce to Ainge's, demanding price. So here's my question. I don't care that he has to wait, because he's going to have to wait if that's what he wants. And then even through all that waiting, it's still going to go down. Can the Knicks wait? Because if the Knicks can wait, then they can do this at the beginning of the season, a quarter away to the beginning of the season, maybe before the trading deadline. This could be done.
CD, though, the thing about it is, and this is a way that I kind of look at it, is like being optimistic in a sense. What if the Knicks come out the gate hot and these young players are doing well, and then you just give them the boot. I don't see that ending well.
I don't see that happening if that were to happen. And me
I
and Ron
hope
talked
not.
about that
Yeah, I would
yesterday.
hope not, because I
said-
think,
Mhm.
I
No,
think that Leon, he's been smart about it so far. So I would hope that that would be out of the picture if something like that were to happen.
if the Knicks start out something like what did I say, Ron? I say like 14-7 or something like that.
7-16. Oh wait, the
on the good side of it, on the positive side, it was like 14-7 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be thinking about Donovan Mitchell, bro. Just being real about it. 14-7 to start off your first 21 games, which is a quarter of the season. I don't think anybody going to think about it, because the thing is going to be why tamper with something that's not broken right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is best case scenario for Knicks, in my opinion. But what if they start off bad, right? I still think it's still smart for the Knicks to pull this until that asking price goes way down.
Yeah, it's all.
I gotta do this in pieces. Sorry. Go ahead, J Boogie.
Yeah, I go along with what you're saying 100%. But if like you said, we start off 14-7 and get off to a good start, and you want to holler at us about Donovan, guess what, Danny? Your price range goes down. And then it is a flip side. If we start off on the bad side, where that record is flipped, say 7-14, of course, Danny is going to lift that price up high on us if we have to, if we turn back, and try to get back into that trade because we off to a bad start. So, I mean, I like to see us get off to a 14-7 start. After that, then for a fact, you would have to go ahead and give up one of those picks or whatever to do what you got to do to go ahead and get rid of Julius. Because there's no need for you to have these young guys and these young guys is rocking and then you still blocking them. You know what I'm saying? You just blocking them and not allowing them to grow. All these guys that you don't like, Grimes, like when y'all was talking earlier about Evan and Grimes, you know what I'm saying? And Evan starting at the beginning. No, Evan, you coming off that bench. I'm not, these guys want Grimes, and I'm not going to tell them Grimes is not included and then bring them back and have them come off the bench. That don't make no sense. Evan getting out the way. You can go act like, what's his name, Bogdanovich or whatever his name is in Atlanta, and come off the bench and just fire along. But no, you're not starting because these guys want this guy. So therefore, I'm giving this spot up to you. You got to come off the bench, bro. They got to make boss moves inside the system. If you're not catering to what Danny wants and you believing in having faith in certain things here, you got to stand behind it. You can't say I'm not going to give up this guy and then have him coming off the bench 12 and 13 minutes. Nah, I can't do that. Right. You want to keep Obi on his team, you got to find a way to get Julius up out of here. They can't play together. That hurts more than in the correct words. Hardwell, that's a disaster seeing them two on this team. That hurts more than anything. For Obi to be ready to go, this guy's average 8 points, 3 rebounds, something like that, and just a little bit of 12 minutes or something like that. Okay, well, times that by 2, or times that by 2.5. That's almost 20 points a game. If the minutes is 16 to 20 minutes, he rocking. But you have to go ahead and have the door open for these guys. If you're going to go young, send the bat signal out and let us know you're going young. By any means, we're trying to make a move to go ahead and get rid of Julius. That's what you should be doing. If you're not going young, then you might as well go ahead and force your issue and just, deal with Danny and give him whatever you want to give him. I don't know.
So look, the last package that Leon gave, right, had 2 unprotected, right? Yep. My question is that can other teams match that 2 unprotected? If it was to boil down to it, say they played a waiting game, right? Can another team match? They could, right? The question becomes how many could do 3 unprotected? And I think we're one of the only few teams that could do that. And that are willing to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say willing to is. I think we're the only one. I think somebody could finagle their way to do it, but they're not going to. Not for that. No.
Yeah. So it's gonna have to be 3. 3 will have to be the magic number because other teams can compete with your 2 and maybe put a better package together, especially if they get a third team involved. So if that's the case, and if that's the metric, then Leon has the choice of either abandoning the ship and not doing the trade, or just do the 3 now. Because nobody's going to give Danny the 4. If that's what you're going to do.
And to your point about Fournier, I honestly think they have to move this guy. Like, if there's an opportunity that comes upon them, I think they have to move him. They want to get off his contract. I don't see it like him coming off the bench. I really don't see them allowing for it to happen, even though it would make sense. Like, we all think that it would make sense. I don't see Tibbs doing it because I don't think the front office would want to do it if they're paying the guy 18, 19 mil. We're not a contender. We don't need to have a guy making that much coming off the bench. So I think they move Fournier. I don't see a way of him being on the team.
Yeah, I know for a fact Fournier is going to be gone. He's going to be gone by the trade deadline. Somebody's going to want a sniper like him. Somebody that's really making a playoff run. Something going to happen where somebody's going to need another shooter somehow, some way on one of these rosters, and that's going to be wide open available for us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys are making great points. Like I agree. This is something we're gonna have to kind of see how it plays out. But there's a lot of stuff that is still left to unpack, not unpack, but like to see what the rest of the league does and how Ainge is able to get this stuff where he wants it. Because I feel like I'm just being honest. I feel like I understand what Utah has been trying to do, and it makes sense to do it that way. You want to build the pressure and make it a little bit more urgent, have it to be a little bit more urgency for the rest of the teams interested, because Utah is, I don't necessarily think that Utah is playing from a position of comfort. There may not be the same level of urgency that other teams may have to acquire Donovan, but they have some urgency too. And I think it's just started to come out that I think Utah looks like they're trying to get something done before the season starts.
According to Windhorse.
Yeah, and if I was a betting man, D, I would think that the Knicks are going to try to get this done before the season starts, because once the season starts, I think they'll move on. I know, other people have said that the Knicks are, okay with the process being dragged out and seeing where we go. But I just think from a standpoint of team chemistry and building something together, having people on the same page and going into this tough first 20 game schedule that the Knicks have, I think they'd be much more willing and more inclined to get Donovan in here before the season starts, so they can start building, so they can get off on the right foot. Because why have to go into the season? You might be in a position of you're losing a lot of games, bring him in, and that's not going to turn everything around right away. You still need time for chemistry to build while you're going through a bunch of more losing. And it's also like, even throughout the chemistry of building, that affects you. Like any person, especially someone who comes to a new team, people don't like losing. And you're going to have to deal with some losing because you haven't got it all together yet. You didn't have that time to practice and really work on things, get to know your teammates, what they like, and them know what you like, and how the spots on the court that work. That takes time. And I just think that it's much better if the Knicks do it before the season starts. And then, if it doesn't happen, move on.
According to reports, the Jazz feel the same.
I guess so. See, and that shows you, to the point where people say that the Jazz don't have that level of urgency. Well, now they just gave you a level of urgency. They do want to get it done sooner than later.
Which is strange to me.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I'm just looking at the Jazz roster, and it's goodness gracious. I mean, if they move Donovan Mitchell, they're right there with the Spurs, neck and neck, for number one. Like, if they get Donovan Mitchell off of this roster, you're rolling out Alexander Walker. You've still got Malik Beasley. I forgot they even picked him up in the Minnesota trade. We know that Bogdanovich is gone. They're going to move off of him. Jared Butler. Clarkson, I feel like, is going to get moved. Then you're left with Mike Conley, Rudy Gay, Taylor Horton Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Johnny Juzang, and Walker Kessler. And then they have Jaron Vanderbilt, who's probably the best player that they have of youth left on that roster.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's what Danny wants, though. Danny already know he get ready to get the #1 pick. You know what I'm saying? I don't mention it before. You know, when LeBron left Cleveland, automatically they gave him the #1 pick. When AD left New Orleans, automatically they gave him the #1 pick. You think these guys is gonna lose 2 all-star, multiple stars in this league, and the league is not gonna give them the #1 pick? Yeah, commissioner will make sure they get the #1 pick. Remember, that thing is still behind closed doors. But a franchise like ours, it would never happen because, for the simple fact, we still sold out during our worst times of the year. That team right there would be on the verge of just falling all the way completely off. They need immediately help. So, you know, good grief. But I'm getting ready to jump off. I got to get back to, you know, packing up this China and everything. I just wanted to come rock with y'all great, man. D's, do me a favor because you deserve it too, man, because I be looking out for everybody. You got my number. Text me your Cash App, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that thing on the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And also, what you was talking to me about, far as, you know, what we was talking about, man, send me something so that way we can figure something out. Right now, you know, I'm in a heated space right now. Things is getting ready to start coming out in a minute.
Bet. No doubt. I got you.
Ron, you're the great host as you are. Sam, my man, the great intelligent brother, you know what I'm saying, that's going to buy the bank and not Kareem Akbar that work for the bank. Salute to y'all, brothers.
All right, Boogie.
Appreciate you, Jay Boogie, man. Take it easy, brother.
No doubt, man. We're going to finish doing what I need to do and catch out some of these football games, man. Y'all bless us. Have a great weekend.
All right, man.
Shout out to the chat.
Yeah. All right. So I think give this, I think is how many votes we got. I'm going to give it one more minute and I'm going to close the third poll and then we'll get to the results, tell you guys what we're working with. I think it's interesting. I'm not shocked, by the way, but I think it's interesting.
I feel like I know what it is too, and that's the sad part is that I know what the fans are gonna.
It's roster number 3, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely 3 or 1, 100%.
Really? Huh? Interesting.
3 or 1.
I wonder why do you say that, Sam?
You know that this team for some reason I saw a good amount of OG supporters actually in the chat, so that's why I think 3 has a shot. 1, I feel like they're going to want that roster because Obi Toppin is still on that roster. Obi Toppin is not on roster 2. That cancels that out. So, I mean, with roster 3, if people don't like the idea of RJ Barrett not being on the team, I think they go 1 because of RJ and Obi on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, they call that deductive logic.
Interesting. And is that how you feel too, D?
I think people like 3 because 3 is your most flexible with having star power. The mix makes more sense, at least in my eyes. That's why I would go with.
Okay. All right. It's been another minute. And all of these polls have been at least, let's say, 26 votes. The last 2 polls had about 31 votes each. Okay.
The results.
So, do you like New York Knicks roster number 1? Out of 26 votes, 61% said no. 38% said yes. Okay.
Okay. So that knocks out 1.
Number 2. Shoot, there we go. Do you like New York Knicks roster number 2? 65% said yes.
That's the one.
34% said no, and this is out of 32 votes. Okay. And then, do you like New York Knicks roster number 3? 80% said no. 19% said yes, and that's out of 31 votes.
I'm glad to hear the 80% on that one.
So what that tells you guys is the Knicks fans in this consensus, in essence, want their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to have Jalen Brunson here, bring in Donovan Mitchell, and still retain R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Derrick Rose, Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish. Add Carmelo Anthony to the mix. Have Hartenstein, Quickly, Sims, Farron Hunt, Chioza, and McBride.
And have they want to have IQ, Miles McBride, Sims, basically being warm-ups all night. Gotcha.
I guess it's the point of at least they're on the team. They're Knicks. We've got them here. So if anything goes down, they're on the team. I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that facetiously or to make fun. Like, I think that they're basically just saying we want to build with these guys going forward, no matter what. Even if some guys can't play, which can hurt their development, guys. But this is the roster that people want to rock with. Mitch Randle, OG, RJ Brunson. So Sherwin said, let's see here, that try a roster of having, and let me take this down because we don't need it up right now. Try a roster of having Mitch, Randle, OG, RJ, and Brunson.
They said Knicks and try to roster Mitch, Randle, OG.
I don't have an issue with it.
I'm not opposed to it.
I don't.
I'm not opposed to it.
That's why I was more so against the RJ Barrett trade, is because I don't think that that's what it'll take. You can give up something else and get OG. Like, I'd rather see him alongside RJ. I understood what you were saying though, Ron. I'm just, I like this roster right here. If this is what we're gonna do, he fits perfectly into what Tibbs wants and literally what the team needs. That's what we need on the roster right now. Now, what we're giving up for him, I don't know. That remains to be determined.
All right, that works. Let me before you go, D, let me just shout out a couple more people. King Ant G in the building, salute to you. Magnum Boom is here, what's good? Wayne Peterson, he didn't like one of those rosters, I don't know which one it was. Magnum Boom said nah as well. Knicks fan is in the building. Boulevard 73 is here. G-Man 78.
G-Man.
Felicia Lee is here. Salute. Luck Charm 22 is in the building. C. Cartagena is in the building. Shout out to my guy riding with Knicks, man. What's going on, buddy? Appreciate you. I don't know if you're still here. I saw this a while ago, but if you are still here, thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. And I saw your show that you did on getting to know Donovan Mitchell. He went into some history about him coming into the league and everything. So, good show, man. Shout out to Quiet Money. Shout out to Captain and Coke 70. That's my jam right there, little Captain Morgan and Coke. All right, holla at you, buddy. Wilson Dang in the building. D Nice is here. Bodega Wi-Fi, salute to you once again. I know I already put that up about the Randle has the 50% trade kicker. Thank you. Max Cali in the building. Wacko in Brooklyn is here. Let me see. J Deals Direct in the building. Canal Band Laya in the building. What's going on, y'all? Sharice Duncan is here. And Ashley Inc., #1 in the building. Oh, interesting. Okay. I see you. And let me just read this super chat. Parrish Duggar, thank you for the generous super chat. Leon is hearing staff saying, guys, look this summer. Okay.
I hope that's the direction I would go. There is some stellar talent coming, bro. If that's what he said, that's what I interpreted.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I'm looking at it too. Unless if we're wrong, Parrish, obviously send another message. I'll put that up. But that's what I think.
I'll the $2 to clarify.
No, not the $2. Just send the message. Yeah, man. Thank you. That would be crazy. Yeah, Paris. I didn't quite understand. Could you send another message so I could figure that out? Add the $2 again, because I don't. It's crazy. Anyway, all right, y'all. So, thank you guys for giving your feedback and taking the poll. Appreciate it. Let me give you my opinion. Shout out to that dude Fresh. Nice name. and Visions. I don't know if I shouted you out before. I think I did, but shout out to Visions once again if I didn't. Appreciate you, brother. So, in my opinion, I would give you what I would like and what I think is the most likely scenario. What I would like from these three is number one. I like number one because I'm okay with this being something that doesn't happen overnight. I'm okay with us seeing what these kids really, these young guys really have, and going from there and seeing if they can play or not, and then making an informed decision. Okay, these guys ain't it. I got to move on. But I want to give them every opportunity to show me they're not it before I just cast them off. Because the last thing, and maybe I'm saying this because I'm a person who grew up a Knicks fan, a Met fan, a Giant fan, and a Ranger fan. Rangers are different though. I've watched guys that we've had on our teams go somewhere else and ball out. And a lot of times it usually happens with young players. We get them when they're, we draft them, they come in young and they never reach their full potential with our team. And then they go somewhere else and they become really good players. There's a lot of people that you can point to that's happened for us as fans. So I want to give these guys this year to see what we really got. Like, I want to know what Quentin Grimes is for real. I want to see what IQ is. I want to see what Obi Toppin is. I want RJ Barrett to ball out and be included on the list that he thinks he's been, left off of. Like, this is your time to do it and show everybody who you really are. This is your money year, and it's also a time to show the Knicks that you're ready to take that next level and be a big focal point and be a huge part of this team going forward. So stuff like that is what I'm looking for. But I need these guys all to have time to play and show us what they can do. I'm not even throwing Cam Reddish in there, guys, because I just feel like under no circumstance are the Knicks keeping Cam, unless he does something incredible,
spectacular.
I just don't see him be able to do it like in 1 year, get the playing time, dealing with injuries he's coming back from, and in Thibodeau's system, if he's given that, like, Cam Reddish would have to be the focal. He would have to be a number one option on the Knicks for him to be able to show that he's that type of player for us. And I just don't think he's going to get that usage rate. So he won't be able to show it. So that therefore the Knicks are not going to pony up and pay him that money to keep him here. So that's why I'm not throwing Cam in that mix. So the roster number one is the one I would go with because, like I said, I want to see what these guys are made of, and I'm okay with them checking that out this year and then making moves next year. Depending on who's available.
So no Donovan.
No Donovan.
Wow.
Right. The roster that I expect that we'll see is number two. I think number two is more likely for this New York Knicks team and fan base and the pressures of having a squad in New York. I think number two is something that we might see. Number three is more of a build project that can put us in a situation where we might have a little bit more flexibility. It's not a guarantee on that. And obviously, this was me constructing something to throw up so that we could look at it, but it's not ideal. I don't know what we could get or how we could maneuver, but it was the point of getting off of guys who may be question marks, getting off of RJ Barrett because you got to pay him and he may not be the answer long term. So we'll move him. Getting off of Julius, you know why. So we move him. And bringing Donovan in. So that was what that number three is about. It's a different scenario, but it's some that some people might like because you got to think of the big picture going forward. It's not great right now, but it may look better later. But like I said, I'm with one, but I think two is most likely.
This came from Windhorse too, and this came from others at the beginning of all of this saga. They said that Donovan Mitchell trade is inevitable, and with the Knicks, and I agree with that because I think the Knicks really won, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think how I'm going to word this. I think it's a question of draft picks without a doubt, but it's also a question like this, right? Mm-hmm. I think Julius Randle messes up everything because I think you would have been able to go lower on the draft picks if you were able to ship RJ Barrett. But the whole thing is that you have to ship RJ Barrett and Julius Randle together because you want to dedicate your resources in year one to building around Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's been out there that Julius Randle is pretty much rendered untradeable, right? Because there's no team that's doing that, bro. They're not giving up a pick or two to get rid of Randle's contract and his production. They're just not going to do it. So he stays. So now with him staying, I think RJ has to stay too now. Because it's not going to work with Mitchell, Brunson, and a guy like Randle that you can't move. So the question becomes, do you ride out with that? Because RJ would have to be paid. And the Knicks would not be willing for him just to offer an offer sheet with somebody else and get nothing for him. But can they sign and trade him? That's the question.
Right.
Can they sign and trade him? I believe they could because I think they have his bird rights. It was something I have to look at.
I just hope it never gets to that point. We've got to ship off. I agree with you too, D. It's hard now because I don't even know how the heck you're getting rid of Randle. How or who? Who wants him?
That makes it very tough. Let me just say this real quick. And I didn't forget about you, Kerry Cooper. I just wanted to get all that other stuff out. Thank you for the generous super chat. Appreciate you. She says salute. Salute, gentlemen on the panel. Happy Saturday. Salute to the chat. Thank you for being here and rocking with us, Kerry. Thank you.
Appreciate it. But yeah, so because if Danny Ainge acquires RJ Barrett, there's really no pressure because he could just have him go somewhere else and not match the offer. Right. Yeah, because he's just in it for the draft picks. It don't matter unless RJ does something absolutely stupendous next year. Right. But so where I was getting at, I said all that to say that. So most likely because of the Julius non-movable thing, you're looking at the draft picks that are going to be the major moving piece here. So it's going to have to be 6. It's going to have to be the 3 unprotected, the 3 protected, and I'm pretty sure Ainge is going to want one of the young guys out of that between Grimes and Obi specifically.
Yep. I think you are very correct in what you're saying, D. I believe that to be a fact.
I just love how everybody said exactly what Ron knew they were going to say about Chiozza. And it's just so funny reading the comments.
I knew. Listen, guys. For those who may just be tuning in right now, excuse me, Chris Chiozza is a piece that you're adding to fill out the roster. Okay, he's not someone who's going to be a difference maker on your team, but you need a 15-man roster. Right now, as currently constructed, the Knicks have 13 players that are signed to be on the big club. If you look at the Knicks roster, you'll see 15 players because you'll see Farron Hunt there, and you'll also see the dude from Duke,
Trevor Keels.
But both those guys most likely are headed for the G League. So you still got 2 spots that you need to fill for the big club. And, we already talked about Tom Thibodeau's rotations and how guys aren't going to play. 14, 15, these guys ain't going to play unless somebody gets hurt or there's protocols. So you're just filling out the roster. And to fill out the roster, to be honest with you, if I'm looking at someone who might have to play for the Knicks in a situation, Chiozza is a really good option to have there. Just think of who the Knicks had prior, right? Arcidiacono. I think that's how you say
Ryan.
it. Ryan Arcidiacono.
Yeah.
I hate that.
You almost had it.
I lost it. I know.
You're close.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Chiozza is better than Ryan Arcidiacono. All right, Ryan.
You're good, yeah. Ryan.
Tom Thibodeau's nephew. I got you.
Yeah. I'm getting frustrated with that. He's better than him as an option. And to be quite frank, I know some people who just tuning in maybe didn't hear when I said this earlier, but I'll say it in the same way. RJ Barrett is my favorite player on the Knicks. At some point, I felt like Miles McBride was my second favorite player on the Knicks. Not that he earned it, but I just liked the kid. I liked his makeup, and I just really gravitated to him. Miles McBride is not going to be on this team long term. He just doesn't fit what they were looking for. He might be a very good asset for another team to play like that defensive role, hit a couple baskets here and there, and just give you what you need in that realm. But for the Knicks, I don't think he fits. So I feel like defensively, he's much better than Chiozza, but offensively, Chiozza runs circles around McBride because of how feisty he is. He's one of those, he can break you down, cross you over, get into the lane and lay it up. He's short, but he got no problem scoring on you. And he can hit the three. So offensively, he's just a piece you keep on the bench. He may never play, but if you need something, garbage time, someone gets hurt, you can throw him out there. That's why I'm adding him. But like I said, he's the 14th or 15th man on the team.
And that is a good point that they just brought up in the chat. McBride and Sims both are now signed to multi-year deals. They're not on the two-way anymore.
Right, correct.
So it'll probably be Hunt and Keels unless they sign Hunt.
Yes, correct. Hunt and Keels are both the ones that are probably going to go to the G League. I agree. And even if, and the other thing is, I want to just throw that out there because some person might think that way. Just because they gave Miles McBride money doesn't mean they're going to keep him. You know, sometimes you appreciate someone and you pay them for their time here, just like what the Knicks did with Wayne Selden. They gave Wayne Selden money to be on the bench. That dude was clearly a G League player, but and they gave him money to be on the bench just to. I think they gave him like a $400,000 contract or $500,000, something around there. But it's just you're rewarding somebody for being on the team, never really catching a break, but want to give him a little money to support him and his family. That's what you do, because really that money should have went to Theo Pinson, but I digress. Shout out to Knicks fans Brazil in the building. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. What up, Victor? Shout out to Knicks 100. Who else? There was somebody else I had just saw that I wanted to say what's up to. Oh, Eric G75. Appreciate you. Infamous New King in the building. Thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. Yeah. So I know some of y'all that might be tuning in right now, like Victor's like, what is this? He's like, what's going on here? These were just this was a situation where we, you know, if you're just joining now, I made 3 rosters. One roster is of the young guys and basically the team that we currently have now. Just added a couple more pieces just to fill out the roster, whatever it may be. Number 2 is if we trade for Donovan Mitchell, and then fill out the roster with like Carmelo Anthony and Chris Chiozza just to fill the roster out, right? And you keep Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, basically all the Knicks that you're currently used to that you want to see grow. And then number 3 was moving away from RJ Barrett and Julius Randle and bringing in Donovan and Jalen and building with them, and then kind of rounding out the roster with guys like OG Anunoby, Jay Crowder, Landry Shamet, things of that nature. But this is just pieces from a trade to get it done. This doesn't mean that will be the team you keep going forward. You're just kind of moving the guys away, and then you can build later. But these are just 3 scenarios, and I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on which one they like best and how they could see any of these working towards the Knicks building in the future. So that's what today's show was about, guys, if you're just tuning in. Shout out to A in the building. And he said, if I had to pick one of the 3, it would be number 2. And like I said, to me, number 2 is the one that I thought a lot of Knicks fans would think would be what they want and what is the most likely scenario. Doesn't mean it's the best for building a championship type contender going forward. But this could be how it shakes out. Don't know.
And also shout out to A for being new to the channel as well. Welcome to the family, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And shout out to CAA Mafia. He said, I'm taking number 3. Interesting. Okay. All right.
I did too.
Money Grip said he's taking number 2. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, man, like, listen, these are different scenarios for different reasons. It doesn't, and once again, no matter what I put up here, it doesn't mean that this is going to be the team that is going to get us where we want to go. This is just what I see, like from now to the trade deadline of this year. This is how the teams could shake out just for this year. So yeah, man, thank you guys for really kind of jumping in and looking at everything. Now, there was something else that I wanted to touch on. I got it. There it is. Let me take. I'll keep it up a little while longer, but then I'll take it down because I'm kind of sick of seeing it now. Paris Duggar. Earlier, he said, guys who switch teams play much better their second year. Fournier is going to have an all-star season this year because of being more comfortable and having confidence. Cam will improve. What do you think about that, Sam?
I mean, like I said earlier, it's not like impossible that Fournier can make an all-star appearance because I've seen it with other guys who primarily just shoot the ball, but the Knicks would need to be the top 5 in the conference for him to do so. And as far as Cam goes, I just think like if he gets the playing time, it's possible that we see that. I mean, but it needs to be consistent minutes. It can't be, oh, hey, Cam, I need you to play 25 minutes this night. Next game, you're going to stay in the warm-ups. It needs to be consistent minutes for Cam Reddish for us to really see his improvements and what he's worked on in his game. Because even last season, we really didn't get to see much out of Cam Reddish. So healthy Cam Reddish is going to bring forth opportunities for us to see improvements. But Fournier, like I said, going to probably need to be top 5, top 6 in the Eastern Conference for him to even get lucky with an all-star appearance.
Okay. What do you think, D?
I love Paris, but I think he's tripping.
Okay. Do you think that it would be tough for Fournier to build off of his impeccable shooting he displayed in the second half of this past season? I mean, he was really good at shooting them 3 balls. You know how my grandmama used to say, he shoot that 3 ball, baby.
I'm telling you right now, Ron, if I see that Ray Allen fadeaway corner 3 from him again this season, I might just cancel my NBA League Pass.
Look, Fournier can shoot the basketball, bro. Like that even before he came last season, that has been known already.
Mm-hmm.
An all-star appearance is a totally different conversation.
Different.
And for example, Sam, you brought up Kyle Korver earlier, right? A big part of him making that all-star team was because Atlanta had the best record in the NBA. So they wanted to reward him, I guess, and put multiple all-stars on the team, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So do I see a scenario where the Knicks are battling for the 1 or 2 spot in the East, let alone the NBA, and then you could bring a guy like Fournier's one-trick pony butt onto an all-star team? Damn, Paris. That's asking a lot, bro.
Because let's be honest, I mean, nobody really remembered Kyle Korver making that all-star team because he didn't play. He was just he just made the roster. Like I don't remember him playing in that game. And he's right. Like the Hawks basically won 60 games. Like the Knicks winning 60 games is very, very optimistic. Like that Hawks team was very well run. They had a lot of pieces, which we don't have now. So I don't know about that one.
Oh, well, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Shout out to Iron Lion Mike. And let me drop this down. He said New York didn't run Melo out. Phil Jackson did. Well, maybe so. Salute to you, man. Thank you. I know I've never seen your name before here in the Still Knick Fans chat, so appreciate you. Thank you for being here and rocking with us. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Let's see. Judah, my rightness said, Brother Ron, I understand your roster layout, and I just feel that we need to hold pat on D. Mitchell for 1 and keep what we have and get rid of Randle. That's another scenario that people really would like to see. They want to keep what we got, but get rid of Randle and build from there, go with a different a different option and give Obi some time, but also like kind of addition by subtraction type thing with Julius. I understand that. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way too. Knicks
D,
100.
like you brought up D though, with the Randle thing.
Mhm.
Like some fans want us to hold pat, which I'm okay with, right? But we also have to understand that unless we're in on like a 3-team deal, like we're giving up a first with Randle just to get off of him. So I hope that fans are okay with still moving a first round pick, but we'll be using that to get rid of Julius Randle.
I was going to talk about that tomorrow, Sam.
My fault.
No, you good.
Yeah.
You good. Yeah. No, great point.
So hold that down, and we'll tune into D's World of Hoops tomorrow, so he can really get into the minutia of that one and break that one down. That should be interesting.
Thanks, sir.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know about the source, but that is interesting. Knicks fans, Brazil. Victor said the channel here in Brazil said that a radio in Arizona commented that the Suns are looking for Julius Randle's agent to propose an exchange.
Is that the Mark Stein report, Victor?
I don't know. Victor, is that what they're talking about? Mark Stein's report, or because he said a radio in Arizona, maybe. So that's the Suns area. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. If that's the case, then I'm all for it. Let Julius Randle get it cracking. Now, I don't know how Julius Randle's agent would propose anything because it would have to be from the Knick brass. But if that's the case, listen, maybe. I mean, that's interesting because the way it sounds, obviously the agent wouldn't have anything to do with that. The trade negotiation would have to come from the Knicks team. But if it's a situation where they're saying it in the fact that something Julius would be interested in, so he would bring it to the New York Knicks front office and say, I wouldn't be opposed to going to Phoenix if this is what you guys were looking at doing. And that's how the agent can get involved by speaking through Julius. I mean, for Julius. That's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're stuck with Julius, and it's up for the Knicks to raise him up and get him playing competent basketball, and him being competent emotionally, mentally, and him being able to carry that out to a season while being a positive impact. You do that, you'll get him right back in trade stock value and stuff.
Right. Because right now his value is it's not at an all-time low, but it's low. I don't know if it's an all-time. I mean, I don't know. It could be close considering what he does do. I mean, he's still 20, 10, and 5. So maybe it is. Maybe his value is at an all-time low, which is a shame because the guy, it's like you don't want to just throw this guy away for nothing unless he starts acting up. Let me tell you something right now, Knicks fans. If Julius Randle has one of them wild years again, and he seems like he's dysfunctional and affecting the rest of the team, the Knicks might ship this guy off for, a couple hot dogs.
Edible crackers?
A giveaway night for the Knicks fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know, man. So
now, may I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Does getting Mitchell and a backcourt of Mitchell and Brunson get the percentages higher to get Randle to be at a better place within other NBA execs? Like, does that possibility come out higher for him to raise his trade value, or standing pat?
For me, if you were to, let's say you do get Mitchell and you already have Brunson, like you said, we all know that Randle would be in almost an elite third, fourth option, right, on a contending team. So the problem with that would be is Randle himself would have to be highly efficient because he's taking almost less than half of what he would be taking now last season, shots wise. So he would have to be highly efficient with him shooting the ball. But I think if he is efficient, then yes, it does raise his stock up to where a team would be interested in his services, especially a contending team. They know that they can bring him in as a third option. You won't have an issue with it, and he'll play well.
And that's anybody saying. Anybody get their efficiency up, their value is going to go up, right? But the question is that better primed with a Mitchell and Brunson backcourt as opposed to the roster that they have now?
Huh. That's well, you know what? It's interesting because I would say that I do feel like if you have Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell here, RJ and both Julius will play better. Like I don't even know why. That's not even a question to me. I think they'll both play better, more efficient basketball. That doesn't mean their numbers are gonna reflect it. As far as if you're looking for big wild numbers, that may be tough because now you got Jalen and Donovan here, and that doesn't mean that they will be incredible defensively. I think you pretty much get kind of what you expected from Julius. RJ may be a little better, but offensively, I think they both play a little better. So it could definitely help Julius's value overall. I just think that the one thing you want to keep in mind is if in your mind you already have doubts about Julius long term with this team, you can't stray away from that. You have to keep that in your mind and say that even if he starts to look better in this situation with Donovan and if Jalen's here, both of them, you still got to move them. You still have to keep that in mind. Like what was the overall goal going forward with the roster? How does this work? And will that fit long term? You still got to make that move because that's the problem. Definitely with fans, we fall in love. Like if Donovan comes here and suppose Julius just like it looks great, he starts balling out, looking like 2 years ago. You can't fall in love with that. You got to say, will this continue going forward, or is this the better move to just build that up and move them? Because I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. The whole thing of what happened last year with him, with the fans and all the stuff he went through, just made me look at him more as a player and like, what do we actually can depend on him for? 2010 and 5, and that 2010 and 5 may not be true either. More 2010 maybe, but the 5, he was getting the ball usage and he was helping facilitate. He won't be asked to do that anymore. So that goes down. Not that that's a big deal, but that's going to go down. His turnovers will go down too, which is a good thing. But my whole thing is his shooting. I, for whatever reason, thought that he was a better shooter than what he was. That 1 year really kind of made me look at him differently. But when you look at his overall perimeter career, he's not a good shooter. He can score. He's just not a good shooter. So that's another thing. Like in this situation where you lack certain things, maybe he's just not the right fit. Especially if you want to keep Obi here. If you're trying to keep Obi here, then Julius got to go. But if Obi goes in the trade to acquire Donovan, I don't know. Then maybe you kind of second guess it. Maybe to your point, D. Maybe Julius plays better, and you already got rid of Obi. So you might want to say, let's keep him around. We're paying him. His contract may be hard to move. We're not going to get good value. Let's just keep building him up and try to get the best out of him while he's here.
And their scenario, like, I'm opposed to giving up 3 unprotected. First of all, and I've said that a million times. But I will see the pros of things. RJ Barrett and Julius Randle will become better basketball players with Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson on the team for this number one reason. Because they don't have to worry about weak side defenders and strong side defenders getting on their sides when they're driving. Or if they're going one-on-one, or if they ain't got to worry about that.
That's right.
And it would completely be RJ Barrett and that defender. It will be Julius Randle and that defender. Because the offense is going to be, the defense is going to be paying attention to Brunson and Mitchell, right? Mitchell can get his own shot. Brunson can get his own shot. So the defense is going to be tailored towards that as to where Randle and RJ are going to have a lot more room, a lot more space, and a lot more one-on-one matchups to deal with, which RJ showed when he's one-on-one with a guy with no help, he's killing him. The problem with RJ is when the help comes. So why not just give up the 3? Because you have a responsibility to Julius Randle. The responsibility to Julius Randle, as it all crumbled together as it did last year, now you also have to revitalize it together as well. You got to get him back on track. for him to be important as a third or fourth guy, like Sam was saying, or a guy that you want to flip as an asset because you're trying to flip him now, right? The what do you call that? The cat's out the bag, bro. They're actively shopping him, and nobody wants him. So that was your job as an organization to make sure you get him back on track for the success for your team and the success for your assets moving forward. If you do plan to move off,
right? And then, okay, so yeah, all right, Victor. So he says, I want to know if this is really true. That's why I looked for you. If so, I'll make a video on the channel about it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so definitely let us know about that if that's something that you think is substantial, that they feel it is out there about Julius with Phoenix and their interest.
I think the deal would have been done already if that was true.
Me too.
If that was true, Phoenix would have already gave him the first, and we would have had Donovan Mitchell here already.
Yeah.
I don't see them waiting on that. They can't. Phoenix needs now. They need to win now. If they wanted him, they'd bring him in now for training camp purposes. I don't see it.
Me either.
And shoot, I was gonna say something, and I think I lost it already. Man, it's bad. I'd be having it. It's gone in a fleet of a second. It had something to do with Julius, though. What was it? Oh, I got it. The other thing is we talk about fit and all this. The other thing could just be to avoid issues. Maybe Julius is looked at like a little bit of a not a cancer in the club in the locker room, but as a little bit of a difficult person to interact with. And the reason why I say that is because I do remember. And I thought it was against the Utah Jazz, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's the game specifically. The game that Julius walked off, or he got mad. Something happened, and he was flipping out towards the end of the game.
The Lakers game or Chicago? Yeah, Chicago.
Oh, no. But there was something that happened in the Utah game because the game was over. I believe Utah won, and Julius was upset about something, and he was flipping, and it was just happening. Oh, he went to a ref. He was mad about something, no calls or something happened. He was pissed. He was going at the ref, and then Donovan's walking over, and he walked past him, and then RJ's there, and them two are talking, chopping it up, and then Donovan just sees Randle wilding. Because I even have it saved. I think I'm gonna go see if I can find it later and watch it. I could point to it later, but that happened in that Utah game because I remember. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, man, Donovan must be like, I don't know if I want to come to a New York team and guys are acting like this. And then I saw him chopping it up with RJ. I wondered what they were talking about. So I wondered that the whole thing about Donovan coming here and people saying, or the thought was that if Donovan comes here, they're going to have to move Randle. Maybe that was a concern for Donovan. Like, I just dealt with some crazy stuff with Gobert. I don't want to come to a Knicks team and this is something that could happen later. Maybe that's a part of it too. Maybe it has nothing to do with the fit, just the personalities, the dynamic. I don't know.
Real quick, you didn't. I don't think you answered Parrish's question about Brunson with Mitchell. Remember, it was early in the show because he kind of just brought it up again and reminded me.
Oh, correct. Yeah, this one. As you can see, I started because does Donovan dilute what Brunson brings to us? That is a good question. Only if the Knicks tried to use Donovan the same way Utah was using him. But if the front office and Tom Thibodeau, well, really it's just a coach thing. If Tom Thibodeau sits down with Donovan Mitchell and explains how they value him and what his role could be and should be and how they want to use Jalen Brunson and how they think that this will affect his game and take his game to the next level. And he won't have to do certain things. He can focus more primarily on scoring and working more on defense. Because the other thing is, don't forget, with Utah, Donovan was also, he turned into a primary facilitator too for them because of the fact that Mike Conley wasn't as effective as he used to be. So Donovan took on more of that role. Here with the Knicks, with Jalen being here, he doesn't have to be that guy. He can focus more on scoring and on defense and not worry about the facilitating. If it happens, it happens, but it's not a focus for him. So maybe if Tibbs brings that to him and explains it to him in the right way, and Donovan can understand the vision and know that Jalen Brunson, I mean, he already said it. You guys know I put it on the show a while ago. He knows Jalen Brunson can ball. So he might respect that. And I think that if that's the case, it won't be an issue on Brunson. But I do think if he comes in with that same Utah mentality and they try to play him in that same way, that's a problem. That ain't going to work because they're going to be cutting into each other.
Yeah. Before I answer, 80 likes, 120 watch it about. Let's get it to 100 before the show's done, guys.
Yeah, man. Smash that like button, people. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us on this beautiful Saturday. Wherever you are, I hope it's beautiful where you're at. And I hope when this show is done, you guys go out and enjoy the weather.
There you go. I was like, you like that meteorologist stuff, man.
Yeah. Give me a little time. I might tell you your horoscope. Just bear with me.
With that. Okay. No, because if Brunson was able to be efficient as he was the 2+ seasons he played 3, but with the 2+ seasons he played consistently with Luka and be efficient, that should be no problem with Donovan Mitchell. And another thing with Donovan too is that Donovan has not played. Oops, sorry about that. Donovan has not played with a guy like Jalen Brunson by his side. So I think there might be some acquiescing with Donovan Mitchell to a certain degree on those things, because Donovan Mitchell is not a jock. He just got a heavy ball usage. And a part of him having that heavy ball usage was that Utah kind of did with Donovan like what Atlanta attempted to do with Trae Young. It was, here's the show, bring us home. It don't work. And I think Mitchell benefiting off playing with somebody like Brunson's caliber. Look, Brunson this year will be an all-star fringe guy, without a doubt. He's efficient. He scores the basketball. He gets guys involved. He does all the things you want your point guard to do. Coming off a fresh contract, being able to be free, I think you're going to see the best version of Jalen Brunson. So I don't think it dilutes, because Donovan doesn't really take anything away of what Brunson does. And if he could do it playing with Luka, that his ball usage percentage is at a 40, I think he'll be fine with Donovan at a 35, if that's the worst case with that.
Okay. What do you think about that, Sam?
I agree. I think, Mitchell playing with Brunson would definitely benefit him. I think the best, would you argue, D, the best scorer, at least, that he's played with is probably Clarkson this whole time being there?
I would say that. Or Bogdanovich, maybe.
Yeah, and so Brunson definitely would elevate his game. He would have to do less as far as the playmaking aspect, which means he could focus more on just scoring the ball and being himself. So, I mean, I don't see that being an issue for him at all. It just worries me, just having a starting lineup with him, RJ, Randle, and Brunson. I don't know exactly how the ball movement is going to work, but, I mean, if they can figure something out, it remains to be seen.
Okay. All right. Listen, I can rock with that. I agree with that. I think that's pretty much the case. Shout out to Anthony212 in the building. Eddie F is here. Rayology in the building. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're just tuning in now, about to wrap up the show, but definitely go back and check it out. I think it's interesting. I think you guys will formulate your own opinions from how the show was done and the rosters. So definitely take a look, because I'd love to see your feedback, and you obviously can comment on the show after it's done, because I would be interested to hear what you guys, Rayology, you especially, man. I know you have a lot of interesting takes on stuff. I wonder what you think about the 3 scenarios. Heck Brezzo in the building. What's good? Heck. Salute to you, man. Salute. Shoot, I was just gonna say something else that I had. Oh, Eddie F. So Eddie F Just want to get to that. He said Julius is a mascot. I like how you gave him his own new nickname as a point forward. He's a miscast. I said mascot. I'm bugging. Julius is a miscast as a point forward. He's a downhill power forward and with a decent to good jumper, but he makes awful choices with the ball. That is correct, and I think it's not that because he does sometimes when he gets a little frazzled when the double team or triple team shows, he does make some poor decisions, and then there's sometimes he makes good decisions, but the execution is poor. Because Julius has a strong arm of the law, bro. This dude could be a quarterback somewhere because he throws dots. And sometimes the pass may be right, but it's the execution is horrible. You know, you can't expect guys to catch things in tight quarters and you're throwing it like 100 miles an hour. It's a little tough. I think that plagues him too. But the addition of Jalen Brunson and then having a Donovan Mitchell here, Donovan's assist to turnover ratio is not bad. Throwing that out there. So you're not in a position of weakness having him be out there orchestrating. Say Jalen's running the offense and then, you know, Jalen goes on the bench to get a breather and now Donovan's running the offense for a spell, or Emmanuel Quickly is running because, you know, as D and I had discussed a while ago, Emmanuel Quickly's turnover to assist ratio is really good.
Stupendous.
It's stellar. So he doesn't turn over the ball either. He makes good decisions. And just to shoot my guy some kudos, Miles McBride's turnover to assist ratio is fantastic as well, if he's on the team and is used. So just throwing that out there.
And in all those 42 minutes total throughout the season, he was fantastic.
I mean, hey, if you think about it like this, I mean, oh gosh, I almost pulled a Ron and lost what I was about to say. I'm too young.
Oh no, don't do that. You're too young for that.
Okay, but yeah, like I was saying, you know, Randle should have to see less double teams, you would think, if they do end up pulling off the Donovan Mitchell trade, and if they even don't. With Brunson alone, how many point guards have we brought out here? I mean, you could bring up Alec Burks, but he's not a point guard. How many actual point guards have the Knicks had where teams have to respect them? Mm-hmm. Like, they have to respect Jalen Brunson. You can't just have your worst defender, Trae Young, on Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. And he can't help off and double team Julius in the post or anything like that. Like, I do see them with the addition of Brunson. Julius Randle logistically should get better shots. You know, you would hope so. So I think that's the way I look at it on the upside. But once again, Randle has to want to buy in.
Agreed.
I don't think he has a choice.
No, he doesn't.
His NBA career could be on the line if he continues the nonsense of foolishness. Yeah,
he at some point, you know, no matter what is going on with you personally, you just got to go out there and play ball. Try to tune. That's one thing the Knicks need to do a better job as on the whole. They got to tune out the noise, tune out the fans, tune out whatever else is going on. Focus on the game. And use that as well for the free throws, because the Knicks are really, you know, they got to get it together with these free throws. Yeah, man. So thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. Thank you to everybody who joined and was on the panel and added value to the show, giving us their opinion and rocking with us as always. Thank you to the Still Knick fanners in the chat, rocking with us. Appreciate all your information and takes that you guys put in the chat. I've been looking at it, and when I watch the replay, I'll be able to kind of look at everything as I always do, because I do sit through these things again and watch what I might have missed. So thank you guys for being here. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Shout out to Danny Landis. Shout out to Sam Grandison, D's World of Hoops in the building. Rock with us on the panel. Another dope show. Thank you, Comega. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eddie F, man. Yeah, definitely. Eddie, watch that replay, man. See, I don't know if you were here earlier, but watch it, man. This was a good one to get, you know, your feeling and opinion about. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, everything's not gold, and it doesn't mean it's everything that's put there is how I think it's going to have to happen. It's just a scenario to get us all, 3 scenarios to get us all talking and thinking about what the Knicks should look like going forward, or how we can build if we move off of some pieces. And then you also get to see what my opinion was at the end, because some people might have been thinking the wrong thing about where I was thinking, but in the end, you see what I was thinking. So, all right. once again, another great show, guys. Thank you for rocking with us. I appreciate all y'all. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be Monday, the Still Knicks Fans Weekly Show. We have another good guest. Emily Austin will be with us. If you don't know who Emily Austin is, this will be your time to do your Googles, as they say, or go on Twitter and just search her up and you'll see what she's about. She's a rising star in the media world, and you'll see going forward she's going to be a household name. But I definitely want to talk to her about some of the interviews she did with our Jalen Brunson, with Emmanuel Quickly, with Mitchell Robinson. She's done other NBA interviews with other players around the league. So it should be a good interview. So definitely tune in for that. And as always, like I always say, take care, man. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Oh, wait, go ahead.
One thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on at 12. Topic is going to be the haunting of Julius Randle's contract. It's definitely horror theme-ish, and I'm definitely going to get into the history of all this and why that move is still impacting the flexibility of the Knicks today. And shout out to those. I was one of them as well that did not like that signing from the get, and it's come out to kind of nip them in the butt. So I definitely wanted to go through like a brief history about it and see how it's impacting us today. So guys, make sure you guys check that out at 12 tomorrow.
Thank you for doing that, D. Appreciate you. And was that you had any other thing you wanted to get out, or that was it?
Oh no, thank you for having me on once again, and you're always a gracious host and a friend as well. Shout out to the chat. Without you guys, we would not be here right now. So definitely blessings, flowers, and roses to you guys as always. And everybody have a great day. Sam, thank you for coming. Very nice to see you. And that's it. I'm good.
Okay, Sam.
Peace and blessings as always for me. Thank you guys for having me on. It's good to talk Knicks and get a nice little refresher for the weekend. So I needed this. This was good for me. I'll try to make your show tomorrow too, D, as well. And you guys stay safe out here. There's still a lot going on, a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. So just be safe out there, and make sure you tell those who you love that you love them.
Facts.
For real.
Facts. Yeah. So as I was saying before, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans, we'll be back again. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know I'm going to try to. I don't know where you guys are from, but on the New York area, you got places where you grew up, and there's special days. Like, your area where you grew up might have their day that they represent every year, where people come through that used to live there. Everybody gets together, barbecues, has a good time. Today's my day from where I grew up. So I'm going to go, jump out there and see the old folks and all that stuff, and try to have a good time. But thank you guys, man. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there, like Sam was saying, and tune into D's World of Hoops tomorrow, 12 noon?
12 noon, sir.
All right. Sounds good. Soul Finger, I see you once again. Take care, y'all. Have a great rest of your day, man. We'll catch you on the next one, like as they like to say. All right, later, y'all.